Okay, mic's are on. So we're recording today on our anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
10
Happy
years.
anniversary.
10.
10 years.
Does it feel like 10?
Yeah, has it not been 10?
It's been 7.
Holy crap, it feels like so much longer than that.
Lucky number 7.
If it helps, we've been together for 13.
Lucky
You
13.
can reenact that basement scene.
Stop.
What basement scene? Oh, right, yeah.
We are mere casuals.
Ow. Always bringing things up.
I'm good at bringing some things up.
Coughed into the microphone. All right, so I'm going to collect my stuff. I made an agenda this week. I always make an
That
agenda, but sometimes they're in
only
crayon.
you can read.
Other people can read that. I held it up to the camera. I bet people are going to zoom in and be like, oh, wow. And then,
When you reach this topic, I got some things to say.
which topic?
The Discord.
Okay.
Not that I can read that.
You can read that?
I can read. I can see
It
Discord
clearly says Discord. So, oh, shoot, what was I going to say?
clearly.
Don't take it. Right now, we're on some random nonsense to open the show. I have to find something amusing that we say.
You said.
What?
That is actually what you wrote down.
Yeah, this is a proper agenda. I want some random nonsense to open the show, so I wrote some random nonsense to open the show on my agenda. That's how agendas work.
Do we have any random nonsense this time?
So what do you think we're doing right now?
Oh, okay.
This is the random nonsense.
On the day of the podcast, minutes before, actually, no, we're recording now, I'm catching up on the news.
See, I was prepared. I read the news and wrote the whole middle blurb of my agenda is on the news.
I had to make our video twice.
Did you look up any Al stuff?
No, I did not. I feel like I have some leftover. Oh, man, my phone is up. See, here's the problem with recording these things with the video. Throughout the week, when my news feed pops up some interesting Al story, I screenshot it and save it on my phone. And then I put it on my phone. Then I put my phone up on the tripod and have no access to it over recording.
So why don't you send it to me?
Because I didn't think of that.
'Cause
and
your phone's
on
over
the other
there.
tripod.
No, I meant through Discord. So then you can open my computer or open your computer.
That's why I have the Discord channel that is a group of me. I literally use it to pass notes like that.
Oh, see, I just send stuff the same.
Well, this way, if it's something you want to keep private, it's still just you. If you don't
What do
want,
you have? You're
Please
keeping
don't
stuff
send me
private from
anything
us?
that's... No.
No, I'm sending myself private
Okay.
things. Yes.
Because I have access to the Discord right here. Oh, it beeped. Apparently, this computer has sound. So,
Yes. That's right. I send myself just of me because.
well, I mean, most
Don't
people,
you have a friend you can send those to?
None that want to receive them.
No
most
one.
people, when they describe you,
woman.
describe you as a dick. So any picture is going to be a dick pic.
Says the man who just stealth quit our guild and said, "Yeah, I just left my alt to take care of you."
Basically, yes.
He basically wowed us. Wow
I
after
know.
darked us.
Wadded you.
And then, so I was reflecting on what you said to me in the van. Says, "Well, you should be happy. It makes me want to play more." But then I realized you never say hi when you come online. You never interact with us.
I interact with you all the time.
Not
Y'all
online.
ditched me yesterday.
I didn't ditch you. I was on there already. You didn't join me.
I was logging in, and then Josh is like, oh, they already found a 5th.
Well, they had a 5th before I agreed to join.
It was under.
It was under what?
Yes.
Well, that reminds me. I need to open our Discord. So
I have been
feel like
really
we're-
bored in the game
Then do
because
something.
you know that I like to do things with friends. So it was part of the pretense of me joining. But I feel like every time you come on, it's when you're going to do a raid. You're on for Varg.
No, that's like once, maybe twice a week.
Right, and that's when I see you.
On every day.
That's when
I
see
get
you.
on and I do dailies. I run around farming gold. I play alts.
Yeah.
I do all kinds of things.
So what I did, I went on to Valheim,
Okay.
and I built the base in the mountains. And once I've spent all that time building a base, which is not a grand base, but it was still time because I had to kill drakes every 2 seconds, I then scouted that entire mountain range. Mm-hmm. And the only silver was the one node I marked off. So then
Oh, man.
I boated out. I said, all right, I can plant something over in the mist land since I found that one little nook outside of the mist. And holy crap, those seekers are rough.
What's a seeker? I haven't played that
I'm
far
not
yet.
telling you. You have to
Okay,
come in
I'll
and join
figure it
us.
out.
But it killed me there. And then I eventually got something over there. When I tried to raise the ground, it didn't put dirt. It raised the rock. I can't plant outside of the mist. So it was all for naught.
Oh, that stinks. So I did log on and play briefly the other day. So I logged on and I built my portal because I had... Who was it? Was it Dimitri? I had somebody build the portal the other end because I built the other end a long time ago and then forgot what I called it. So I got to a safe spot while I was out exploring. I built my portal back. I get back to our base and immediately our base gets attacked by drakes. And it destroyed like half your building.
Did it?
Yes. Because I was like, oh shoot, there's no more crafting because I needed to repair is the reason I portaled back. So I portaled back and I was like, okay, I need to repair. So I looked, everything in my house has been destroyed. So there's no repair tables or anything in my house. So I go over to your house and I'm sitting there repairing at a table and then the exclamation mark pops up and it's like, you're under attack. And suddenly there's 3 drakes outside just blasting me in your house. So I ran away.
And you put it all back together?
I didn't know how to put it back together.
Because I didn't see any damage.
Well, okay.
I saw some ceiling tiles down. That's it.
Yeah, they don't do that much damage, but they were just blasting away.
Oh, you said my house was obliterated.
I did not. I said they destroyed some of your house.
I think you said destroyed half my house.
I don't think I said half. Half's not the kind of word.
But anyway, it is like six roof pieces are missing.
That's a lot of roof tiles.
Not if you count the roof tiles. It's actually a small amount of roof
Why would
tiles.
I count the roof tiles? That seems
Well,
silly.
because if you're going to use a quantifiable
half.
statement like a
I
lot,
said some of.
it's quantifiable. It doesn't sound like it was a lot.
I said some of.
It was all in the same spot too.
Destroyed pieces of your... Oh, shoot. I was wrong.
So
Okay.
I guess my house is pretty protected except for the winds of the north.
Completely destroyed. There's none left.
Okay.
Just to prove my point, I'm going to get on later. I'm going to go through with my crafting hammer and just knock all your walls down. The whole thing's just going to go...
I'm going to take your name off of that idol. Then you can't do that.
What idol? Oh, I can destroy the idol.
If you want to sit there and hammer at it for a long time. Anyway, so
I'll go train some trolls in, and they'll do the work for me.
Oh, can we train trolls now?
I don't know. Well, you can have them follow you.
Yeah, except when they leash. They leash now.
Do they?
Yeah, they don't come out of the Black Forest unless
At
it's
all?
an invasion. No, I'm
Sure
just
they
kidding.
do.
I'm just kidding.
I was like, you're lying. There's no way that's true.
Yeah, I'm lying.
So none of this has anything to do with anything.
Yeah. So I was watching Bob's stream last night, the
Okay.
one where you were raiding with Varg, and
The one raid a week I'm in.
yeah. Well, it sounded like you were going to go for another. Said I didn't know that we did a class raid.
That's what I did. I did that yesterday.
Yes,
No, the day
but you
before.
said that you didn't know that they did it.
Well, yeah, because it's all part of one raid. What they did was they did TOGC,
Yeah.
and then Anixia,
I was
and
watching.
then VOA.
Yeah.
Because when you smash all of those together, you're still only at like an hour and a half. So it's still one raid. I just had already done VOA because I didn't know they were doing VOA. So I got in on a VOA class run like a pug the other day.
Well, when I was listening to it, it sounded like it was just another raid based on classes, and I thought it was like another night, another raid.
No.
And
They did
so
that.
I thought you were signing up for another raid. I'm like, oh,
I did get
Already
on because I was
ignored.
getting offline because I wasn't planning on playing late last night because I wanted to get some sleep. Okay, so next
Yeah,
on my agenda, because I have an agenda this week, I've got introductions. So
I'm Sam.
let's introduce ourselves. What are we doing here, and why are we, and what are we doing?
my name is Okona.
No, that's not how we start. We have to say
We're
what we
mere
are first. Yeah, there you
casuals.
go. You do that thing.
We are a podcast about Wrath of the Lich King.
No, we're a podcast about World of Warcraft that focuses on Wrath of the Lich King.
Then
A
if
World of
if
Warcraft
I'm saying it
expansion.
wrong, why don't you just say it?
Because I wanted
You're the
to-
host, you know.
I'm trying to give you...
Nope,
Oh, you're doing
don't do that.
again. Oh, you people.
What do you mean, you people?
All right. Okay, so yeah. You can keep going.
I'm Sam /Rolaren. /Rolaren.
With an extra N.
I'm Alan /Akona Kona /Righteous Squid, because I know you like
You
that.
don't play that one.
/Roshenko /USCS. He is back, baby.
The Druid.
USCS the Druid.
See, if anything... No, I'll talk about that later. I am Josh /Will Riker, and Tom Riker. I have 3 Will Rikers now, all spelled slightly different.
So you asked me what I meant
Probably actually see
yesterday.
my character.
You asked me what I meant yesterday when you logged in.
Oh, and then I logged out.
I said, look, 2 friends and 1 guildie. And only 1 guildie. And you're like, what do you mean? Making fun of Josh.
Oh.
And his Varg
Yes.
influences. Mm-hmm. I just like saying Varg.
Do
It's my
you?
new swear word. What the Varg are you talking about?
Fun. All right, so...
Does it bother you?
No. I feel like you guys complain when I don't play. You
He
complain when I
did
do
quit
play.
EQ because of you.
Because of me.
You complain how I play. You complain who I
Why
play
because
with.
of me?
Because you always complained that he played EQ and not WoW. So he canceled
No,
his.
I stopped complaining. You kept complaining.
But he wouldn't stop playing a video game because of me.
I've
He-
stopped
he
playing
wouldn't
several
stop
video
playing for
games
me.
because of you.
So, yes, we want you to play, but we want you to play with us.
I do play with you.
I've run. So last week I ran so many dungeons, and I don't think I've run one. I may have run one since, not counting slave pens.
Yeah, I need to keep
Oh,
going
if I
on
don't
them.
count slave pens, maybe I haven't run any since.
You got to run more dungeons.
I got to get out of my comfort zone. I got to stop not replying. I got to stop relying on you.
Yeah, probably. I don't
See,
rely on
the
you.
issue. The
Join
issue I
Barb.
have with you is just my own issue I have with trying to get out there and doing things myself.
It's an easy game. It's everything about WoW
I
is
know.
accessible.
But the thing is, I
Put
got
yourself
this.
out there for groups. Practice.
I got this small. I got a very fragile ego, and if I get people starting to yell at me that I don't know, then I'll probably quit the game.
Don't yell at you. Who yells at you though?
Well, I'm going back to Spell Skull,
Who's Spell Skull?
Undead Mage from retail days, who the people were complaining.
So this is how many years ago?
It's a lot.
Okay.
I told you, fragile ego, and they were complaining about me on the damage meters, but I was up near the top. So they said, well, don't heal them, but they're doing area of effect. So I just stayed with the crowd. I said, we'll kick him when we can, but it's Violet Hold. The kick timer won't go off before that instance is over. So I just stopped damaging. I just started walking around with them and let them finish the instance.
That's so weird. So
And that's where my whole thing came up. Like, you know what? Okay, I might not have been the best mage, but I was doing enough.
oh, you were a mage?
Yeah.
Oh.
I was doing enough.
Oh, Spell Skull was the name of your character.
Yes.
Okay.
I was doing enough damage to be near the top of the meters. So I might have been 1 or 2. So I
See,
mean,
here's what probably the issue was. They probably knew how bad they were and were expecting a mage to carry them.
So this is where I always came up with, you know what, they're dying. What are you worried about? So we were in Violet Hold. Then they were dying easily. I was up near the top. So I'm sorry if mine didn't reach the golden numbers that shine. But they were almost gold. I mean, they were up near the top. I was one of the better damagers
It gets
there.
gold and shines at some point?
No, I was just giving, yeah. So
So here's the thing about that though. I have a topic of the week this week, which actually it's interesting that you bring all this stuff up because that actually ties in a lot with my topic of the week.
So we don't get to know anything that's going on with this.
I tried to show you my outline before we started, and you guys just made fun of my handwriting.
You told me not to take it.
Did I?
Like we said, you were a doctor in your past life.
No.
I appreciate you, Josh. I like that you can take some of this ribbon. So
Yes, I know. So, but what I was going to do is we're still in the introduction phase here. So
We've
I
all
wanted to mention our
introductors.
Discord because I always forget to mention our Discord. Every single week I forget to mention our Discord. We have a Discord. Here's the thing. I tried to set up, you know how some people have like the discord.me/ the name of their Discord, and it's like super convenient and easy to remember, and you just say it. So I looked in, I was like, oh man, I should set one of those up. You need like 3 boosts on your server to be able to do that, which we do not have yet. So, and I didn't want to do all 3 boosts by myself because it's like $15. Yeah, but if Sam does a boost, it's basically like me doing the boost too.
I don't know what you mean. Didn't I boost something?
Well,
Did you?
I was looking at that recently because of
that's a character boost. This is Discord. I'm talking about Discord right now because we have a Discord server, right?
Oh.
And you know how the Discord invite links are like Discord/GG/ like capital M, small 3, exclamation mark, picture of a fox. Like it's just these long complicated like string of characters.
You want to
right?
do it so it's just mere casuals?
I want it so it's like Discord/whatever mere casuals.
Okay.
But you need to boost your Discord server in order to do that. So we got to figure out our Discord server boosts before we can do that. So as of right now,
so if Al does one, and you do
Discord
one,
link,
and I do one,
that would be 3. Yes. If we do that, then our Discord link will be better. But right as of now, our Discord link, I think we still have a permanent link though, which is in the show description. Do we not?
Oh, I don't know, because this is what I wanted to talk about when you're talking about this.
Oh, okay. Talk about this. We're talking about Discord right now.
So we had a random join.
Yes.
Bigotter.
Okay.
Bigotter, Big Otter.
Oh, like in the guild.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
And I don't know if Big Otter, I'm going to call it Big Otter because I like it better than Bigotter.
I'm sure it's supposed to be Big Otter.
I don't know if this player follows us at all, or they're just looking for a casual, easygoing guild. I said,
well, weren't they the guy that was just kind of shouting in general, looking for a casual guild or looking for a noob guild or something?
Yeah. So I went to make an invite. I couldn't find the permanent one anywhere. It's not in the guild description.
It should be in the podcast description at least. If you,
I didn't go to the podcast, but I don't know if that works because I went over to make a new permanent one, and it says you have to make this a community Discord.
What's a community Discord?
Okay, good question. So I wanted to make sure that we were on the same page. But if I go to make a link and I try to make it permanent, it's going to ask me to turn this into a community Discord. So we have to do a little bit of investigating. Maybe we should talk to Nettie. Is it Nettie that does Bob's stuff?
I think so. Discord moderator.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure we can figure it out too.
He's behind on the episodes, so he'll listen to this in a couple weeks and get back to us.
Well, we better be done by then, but then we still don't have
we'll figure it out.
Guild Tabard.
Did I not do that? I got on and did a bunch of guild stuff.
Did you do a Guild Tabard?
I must have just done ranks and stuff.
Like, I'll send you the gold. I'll send you the 10 gold.
Got gold.
I mean, it's all I have left, but I'll send it to you.
How do you only have 10 gold left?
Well, okay, I'm exaggerating a lot, but I don't have the gold that you guys have.
He's got Guild Tabard gold, though, I bet. At least.
Yes.
Yes. So, yeah, we'll figure out, hopefully, by next week, we'll have a fancy Discord link that we can just say the name, and people will be like, oh, that's their...
And a Guild Tabard.
That's their podcast name. Yeah, I feel like... Do people listen to this for the Guild Tabard? I feel like that's not the selling. Is that
because they listen to us and they join our guild and they want a Guild Tabard. So,
see, that's the thing. I've joined many a guild in my days. I never wear the Guild Tabard.
It's still part of the achievement as well, by the way.
What achievement? Oh, the
tabards.
The tabards?
Although I'm guessing you could buy a plain Guild Tabard and still wear it.
Probably. Can you buy a tabard if you're not in a guild?
I doubt it, but maybe. Because I took my bank tune, who's not in the guild, not in a guild,
all?
No.
Why isn't your bank tune in our guild?
I've not been invited.
Mine is.
But, I might keep him out of the guild though, because I could possibly make money if people try to make guilds.
Yeah, a little bit here and there.
But I went into the bank, and I accidentally went to. Don't ask me how. In Iron Forge, you accidentally go to the wrong side. You got a person, as digital person, or just a big vault on the one side. So I went into the big vault. Well, maybe because I thought I was in the guild. That's what I was doing. I was just checking. And opened it up, and there were bags I could buy in there. I'm like, ooh, did you hear that? I'm not in a guild, but apparently I can open up and buy a bag.
Weird.
It is weird. Can you buy a tabard? I don't know if it follows those same rules. Maybe.
So that's a hard maybe on the tabard.
Hard maybe.
Okay, so moving on from the Discord, I also have here, because I want to get this out, because I also always forget to say this. If you want to support the Mere Casuals podcast, like if you like us, then please go on Spotify and rate us with the little arrow buttons. The numbers of stars. Do 5 if you like us. Do 5 if you don't like us. I don't care.
As long as it's 5.
As long as it's 5. Yeah, no, we're starting to
If
get a
you're
decent
not
amount
sure,
of rankings, but
It's all fingers and thumb.
I
Put it
think-
1, 2, 3. Get the last one.
I think it helps. I don't know what you're doing. I think it helps. And also leave some iTunes reviews. We've never gotten an iTunes review. I would love to get an iTunes review.
People still use iTunes?
It's great. I don't know. I think so. Like a third of our listeners are from iTunes. Like it's great to go on Discord and give us feedback. We love that. But I think the reviews help more people see us, and we want more listeners. And you can also check out Rested XP and sign up with the Mere Casuals promo code if you're really interested in helping us out. And that's about it for that. So the next thing I've got is news. Do we want to go into the news?
It's time for the news.
So you looked into the news. I looked into the news. How do we want to talk about the news?
Well, I read the headlines. I can certainly cover that.
Sure.
Actually, they have something about the raid. Maybe you can cover that because, you went to another guild and you're raiding with.
Yes.
There's something with a Nubarak. Did you read that?
Is that the lockout thing?
No, the lockout thing's a different thing.
Okay.
But
What's
if you
the Nubarak thing then?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, what's it say?
Oh, no,
because I didn't see that.
Phase 3 DPS rankings.
Oh, okay. I did see those, which
Nobody
those
cares
are
about
interesting.
those.
I do, because I did look at those, and if you look at the DPS rankings during Phase 1 and 2 of Wrath of the Lich King, Ret Paladin was down like in the bottom 20%, and they're working their way up. Not only are they in the top half, but they're firmly in the top half, closer to the top. I think they were 5th or 6th.
I just like to say nobody cares about that, and you said, oh, those are interesting. We both said that at the same time.
Those, yeah, they are interesting. I like the DPS rankings. I don't think they mean anything because that's like idealized. Like if everybody plays their class 100% best, and you have like 100% the best raid composition, optimization, etc., etc. If everything is perfectly aligned, then this is the DPS rankings, giving no. Not caring about how good the players are involved. So
okay. So you say that, and it's just bringing back to the point where previously you said when I said things are dying, what do we care if it's not the best DPS? You said, yeah, if you don't care about getting better. I mean, everybody always tries to improve their character, but
some people try and improve their character. Some people don't.
Okay.
But the thing is, those DPS rankings are assuming everybody's playing at 100%. Just because you play do you have it open? Mm-hmm. What's number 1? Is it like Fire Mage? Number 2?
Oh, no, I don't have that open, but
okay, Feral Druid.
Talk about something and I'll open it. I think I did look at it, actually.
Like, what's the top one? Tell me the top 3.
Well, it wasn't any of the things I played because I was looking for Shaman, I think, when I opened it up.
Shaman's dropped down a bit.
That's a shame, man.
Uh-huh.
So I got this opened up. Oh, yes, I did look at these because I had to open it up. So it's red. So that sounds like a Death Knight.
Oh, DK, yeah. So which spec? Is that Unholy?
Getting there. Okay. Unholy Death Knight. Affliction Warlock. So anybody that can cause disease and death. Fire Mage. And a Frost Death Knight.
Really? Frost is 4th?
Yep. Followed by Assassination, then Combat Rogues, then Feral Druid, Ret Pal,
Sweet.
Fury Warrior, then
Me at the very bottom.
Elemental and Balance.
Well, you're a Disc Priest, so you should probably be pretty low on the DPS.
Elemental, and then Enhancement Shaman.
I meant Hunter.
Oh, Hunter. Yeah, where is Hunter on that list?
That's right.
I started at the bottom, I started going up. Oh, wait. Oh, that's better.
Marksman, Hunter.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the bottom.
Yeah, so Hunter's kind of fallen off a bit too.
What's a Gladiator Warrior?
I'm assuming
It's the guy that's happy in the morning.
I'm assuming that's like Prot. Like, I don't know. I did see that.
You know a joke? What do you call a Roman with hair in his teeth? A gladiator.
Oh, gross.
Yeah. So, anyways, where I was going with all that, like, if you play an Unholy DK, it doesn't automatically mean you're going to be top of the DPS. It just means that you have that potential. So it matters how well you play your class too. But The rankings are interesting because Ret Paladin is what did you say, like 7th or 8th on that list?
Yeah, that's overall damage. They also have damage for the bosses.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Oh, is it different?
Yes. Would you like me to open up that one?
Is Ret lower on that list? Because I do a ton of cleave damage on trash.
So for bosses, it starts off with Affliction Warlock.
Okay.
Goes to Assassination Rogue. Unholy DK. Fire Mage. Feral Druid. Combat. What were you looking for?
I was curious how low Ret was just on single boss.
Okay, so Frost Death Knight. Arcane Mage. Ret Pally. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 down, 9 down.
That's not terrible still. But here's my question. This is for TOGC?
Yeah, Marksman fell below Beastmaster. Beastmastery Hunter was on the bottom of the overall damage. And it shot up above Marksman
And
Hunter.
this is for TOGC.
TOGC.
So what is the difference? You probably don't know the answer to this, but what is the difference between overall damage and boss damage in a raid that doesn't have trash?
Well,
What
there's
is the other
the
damage?
ads.
Like during the fights?
The ads. Yeah.
So if you're doing Jiraxis, am I saying his name right? If you're doing Jiraxis, then overall boss damage is if you just don't switch to the portals and maidens and stuff? Like what? How do you measure that? Because it's all part of the fight.
I'm guessing, but yes.
That seems weird. I don't
That's
know
the
how they
boss
measure
fight,
that. I don't know
right?
why they differentiate that in a fight that doesn't have ads outside of the actual boss fights.
Yeah, because I was listening to the GDKP for a little bit, and apparently there's one fight where you have to target the ads and cleave onto the boss.
Yeah, that's a couple of the fights. Well, I mean, like the second boss in there, the big demon guy, he spawns portals and volcanoes and a bunch of stuff. You have to switch targets and hit those. You can have your cleave on, so you're still hitting the boss, but like you have to switch and burn those down, or else you're just going to get overwhelmed by. I just broke my chair. You have to switch. What?
Did you have to throw it on the floor?
Well, where am I going to put it? On the table? In the garbage? Like a crazy person? You have to switch. You have to switch and burn stuff down. So that's part of the fight. Like that shouldn't be measured differently. Like I don't know what the logs do. I don't care about the logs. Logs are ridiculous. I don't like logs. Like
I'm
purses and
looking
stuff.
at some of this, and it looks like a lot of these things might be because the top ones are AoEers. If I recall correctly, Unholy Death Knight spreads a lot of disease around.
I've never played one, but I think so.
Affliction Warlock, same thing.
They spread their seed.
Fire Mage would have some combustion spells, maybe.
I think Fire Mage is single target.
Is it?
I mean, I'm sure they can AoE, but like I think
You're
they're
getting close.
I think they're a single target, like a high damage
Sorry.
single target.
I could feel you on my leg hair.
I couldn't feel it.
Down, boy. No, just kidding.
And rogues are surprisingly good AoE as well.
Yeah, Assassination Rogue and then Combat Rogue are they're
What is
right
your
next to each
rogue?
other.
Fan their
Combat.
knives. They fan their knives. What was I trying to say?
Nags.
Yeah, so that's interesting. I found that you said you didn't care, but I found that I like looking at.
Well,
those
because I'm
things.
not there. I'm a bitter person.
Yes. So next item. What's the next thing on the news?
Let's go back.
Because I didn't even have that on my list. I didn't even see that one.
All right, so they had some hot fixes for deep wounds, which
See, that I don't care about
yeah,
because I don't play that class.
Oh, here's your favorite hot fixes on torch juggling, TOGC achievements, tier 9.
Oh, I did see that. What did they fix about the torch juggling?
Okay, so I did it on my shaman.
Yeah.
And it starts a smaller timer between torches.
Oh, okay. So you can like click them faster.
No, so it's not an overall timer for the thing. It's like you have to catch a torch and you have like 9 seconds to catch the next. 9 seconds to catch the next.
Oh.
As long as you kept catching it within that time frame, I mean, it's super easy now.
Okay.
Super easy.
So it's no longer 15 and 40 seconds where you have to go stand under a small arch
yeah, so I mean, I guess if it's 15
and use a special macro.
and you have up to 10 seconds, it almost seems like you have 150 seconds.
Yeah.
If you took it right to the limit.
I wouldn't want to spend that long on an achievement. That sounds exhausting.
Yeah, that might be why Bob wanted to ditch us out of a hoon so fast.
No, he had to go get all the bonfires still.
Yeah,
In order to be on time for the rate that he
I
was
could not
late
get
for.
that second cape.
Well, which one are you trying to get? The DPS one, like the melee DPS one?
Well, no. Remember how I took the one caster cape and you said, "Oh, this one's different."
Oh,
as
it
the
wouldn't let you
spirit?
loot it? Yeah, well, one was like the healer caster cape, and the other one was the damage caster cape.
So the spirit would be the healer.
So is that over now?
No,
Have I lost my chance of getting the healing stuff
I
in
don't
there?
think you need it. Because didn't you get like a 225 cape from one of the H++s we did?
But no, you still have a lot of days. You have like another 4 days.
But yeah, there's like several days left.
I'm sure we could make it if we get a good group that does all the runs. I'm sure we could get you the cape today. But I took that cape and I am already wearing a 243 cape and it's agility. I'm like, I don't think I need
243.
whatever the item number is, the item level.
Where'd you get it?
I don't remember, but I'm wearing it.
Okay. Did you get it from the badge vendor?
I don't remember.
Did you get it from like a quest? Did you get it from a dungeon? Did you get it from a raid? Did you go to a raid?
No, I'm still
Oh, you
bitter.
don't remember. Okay.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
7 years, eh?
Yeah.
I want to stop this from resetting. I want to see.
I keep seeing messages pop up on my phone.
Oh, is that the Discord? It's probably
What?
Discord. Okay,
No.
so do you want me? Here's the stuff that I saw that I made note of. The BlizzCon thing, is that on there?
I want to go to that.
So
but
here's
we're
the-
poor.
Did I tell you what it costs?
Yeah.
Because here's the
That's why
BlizzCon.
I
The
said
BlizzCon
that.
dates are set and the ticket prices are announced. And
It is
holy
on
crap! Did you see the prices, Al?
No, I didn't look at it because I'm not going.
Okay, so well, I know, but you didn't. I still look. I'm not going. I still look. I mean, I want to go, but no.
I didn't even read news that applies to me.
So, didn't there's it's still news even if it doesn't apply to you. So the standard, like the general admission pass, how much do you think it costs without looking at? You probably can't read that anyways.
I know the answer.
Well, I already told you the answer. How much do you think general admission costs for BlizzCon just to get in and wander, mill about, be present? I don't think there's that much to do there.
Can I ask
aside
a
from be
question?
social.
It'll base my guess on it. Over or under 100?
Yes, over.
So I'm going to say 160.
oh.
$299. $299.
See, I wanted to go crazy like that, but
for
then
the general, it is crazy, isn't it? But then they have a portal pass. Okay, so with the portal pass,
does
you get-
Jiraxis come and get us?
Yes, he does. You don't have to wait in line.
Fuck yeah, that's
you,
worth
you
it.
go to the parking lot and a portal opens up, and this demon comes and sucks you in.
I hope
and-
it's one of those portals that's in the floor that when you jump through it, it actually goes to a portal that's standing up.
That would be interesting, but it is. Well, no, this is like a rip happens in space, and these hands come out and they go, and they pull you and they take you in, and no, that's not what happens. What happens with the portal pass is you get shorter lines for getting in and security. Okay, there is something that they call gameplay experience. I don't know what that means, but you get it.
You get to sit down at a computer
You
and
get
play the game.
access to like a lounge of some sort, like a VIP lounge. Something about panels. There was some other things. There's various things that you have access to with this portal pass that you don't with the general admission pass. How much would you pay above and beyond that 300 for a portal pass? Remember,
Oh no!
slightly shorter lines.
Ask a different question because I would say nothing above.
How much do you think they would charge above that 300 for this portal pass?
I'm gonna
Keeping in mind that
go-
you get gameplay experience.
I'm gonna go with $100 increments because I don't think it's gonna be something random like 60 or 70, and I'm not gonna go with 50s. So I'm going to say $4.99.
It is either 800 or 900. I can't remember.
Jesus.
But it is a lot. It's either 899 or like 7. No, I feel like it's 899. I think it's $900. It might be $800. And that's American. So that's like $1,500 our money. Do you want to go to BlizzCon now?
No, they don't deserve that much money from me.
Well, I mean, how many years could you play WoW for $900?
American.
What does it cost?
You can play forever if you farm enough gold.
I
Now,
mean, if you pay real person money. But yeah, no, BlizzCon, like, I don't know, like, do a lot of rich people play? Like, who pays this? It's too much. Like, it's a prohibitive amount. If it was next door, like, if they had it in our city and I could just drive down and pay $10 for parking, I still couldn't afford to go to that. Never mind the fact that we would have to fly to Where is it?
California.
California? Is it in L.A.? Anaheim or something? Isn't it near Disneyland or something?
I don't remember. I just remember seeing it was in
Anaheim
California.
is standing out to me. Yeah, never mind the fact that we would have to fly to L.A. and stay. Like, that would be like... That ended up costing us like $4,000 or $5,000 minimum.
Plus
to go to
babysitting.
BlizzCon. Plus babysitting.
My parents would probably do it for free.
Oh man, this
Like,
is
that's-
making me tired.
It's
just thinking of that.
depressing. Just the fact that I know I will never be able to go to that.
You could
because
just
it's so
go to
ridiculously
California.
expensive. I mean, no,
and
the
like
general
stand
admission,
outside the building
Today's Sunday.
and just hope and just pray someone will be like, "Oh, just come on in."
You can do it. You can do it online. You can do it online. Like, there's a virtual pass.
Just want to go to California.
That would be nice. But like, I don't know.
Disneyland. Would it be wrong to go to Disneyland without the kids?
I mean, I don't want to, but I mean, it's technically not wrong. Do you want to go to Disneyland?
I've always wanted to go
Now,
to Disneyland.
is California Disneyland or Disney World?
Yes.
One of them.
Because I know there's some kind of difference between the two.
Where's the other one?
Orlando.
Oh, Florida.
Yes, Orlando's in Florida.
I think it's Disney World in California.
It could be.
Disneyland.
I mean, I don't really care, but
Does
it's
it
one of the
matter?
two. Not really. But yeah, it's, I guess, on its own. So if I lived within a couple miles, kilometers, whatever you want to call it.
Oh no, I like your previous. If it was right next door and you didn't even have to pay for parking.
If it was right next door and I could walk there and not pay for parking, it would still be a stretch for between the two of us to pay, if you convert to Canadian money, close to $900 for 2 general admission passes. That's still a stretch. Like, even without the travel, but like, it's just, yeah, it's a sad amount of money.
It's
you get enough
cheaper.
stretches that size, eventually it'll cause leakage.
But yeah, so yeah, my Blizzard, my BlizzCon.
The thing is, it was cheaper to
I
go
wrote
see
it
the
on the
Star
note.
Trek people
I wrote
than
it on the
Blizzard.
news. Yeah, it was. I wrote it on the news with the intention of being like, "Yay, BlizzCon, excited!" But now I'm just sad that I'll never be able to do stuff like
Well,
that.
can we go meet Picard then?
Yeah, I
go
don't
meet
know much.
Picard, like the fictional character, or the
Yeah.
actor that plays him?
Well, is he going to be there
No,
at
probably
the
not.
Star Trek
He
thing?
doesn't. He doesn't do a lot of the conventions. Maybe, but that's in Vegas, and it's still a lot of travel.
Okay.
And even that's still a couple $100 to get
Yeah.
in.
So today's Sunday. So last night were the lottos. So I opened up my email. It says I was a Lotto 649 winner.
Ooh, did you win a
So-
free ticket?
No.
Ooh,
Do you have enough to go to BlizzCon?
So I was opening it up. Maybe we can go to BlizzCon, and I am a prize winner of $5.
Sweet. Is that not just a free ticket? Aren't the
No,
tickets
$3. I got $2 more. I could get 2 encores with that.
Oh, yeah. Now I'm just sad.
Yeah, so that's what I was doing on my
The rest
phone.
of this
Do you know what
podcast is going to be
sucks?
depressing. What?
That $70 million ticket was never claimed. So what do they do with that money?
It just
they
stays.
they do special draws.
Oh.
Do they? Oh, I
yeah.
thought it just recycled back into the prize pool.
It is. It's back in the prize pool, but they can't just like disperse it. They're not going to go above. They're not going to get a $70 million and throw another 70 on there. They'll do a draw for the next few weeks after they take all that money. They'll start putting it into a draw. It'll be 70 million. This is the prize pool that wasn't won, and then they'll start going back into their regular pattern.
What if it's one of our tickets that went through the wash?
It's not. Because they know where the ticket sold. It's sold in like Scarborough or
Oh,
something.
never mind. It wasn't us.
Or Aurelia. I don't remember. It wasn't.
Are you going to
just
Aurelia
listed
today?
2 places that are nowhere near each other.
I thought you were asking us to go to Aurelia
Oh,
today.
maybe
check that. I
maybe
did
one
check
day.
The
It's
way you
sold from
said it
nowhere
was
near
like
here.
you wanted to go.
Yeah,
So that's why I was like, are we going?
we can
Question
go to
mark.
Aurelia,
No. Josh and I have plans later.
We have anniversary,
today.
anniversary dinner.
but Aurelia is within grasp.
It's an hour and 33-minute drive from here.
So we'll just take a trip. We'll stay in a hotel one night.
For an hour and a half away.
We just drive back. I'd rather drive back than stay in a hotel.
We could do it next February, and then we can just do the Groundhog Day up there.
Why
What's
would I want
that?
to do that?
Because then we can go Groundhog Day.
I know there's a movie reference in there somewhere, but like,
It's from the movie Groundhog Day.
I know, but I'm just trying to imagine why would I want to go even farther north of here and stand outside and watch a little rodent try and predict the weather?
Because it is not $899 to get in.
No,
But it will be colder.
that's the thing. The things that are free are undesirable.
What?
She's expensive. What are you talking about?
I didn't say anything.
Did you just call me free?
All right,
No.
more news. So
I called you undesirable.
Hardcore.
Get out!
So, Hardcore Realms. I think the PTR is
Wanna
active for
babysit
Hardcore
tonight?
Realms.
No.
I think the Hardcore PTR. I think the PTR for Hardcore Realms is open because I've heard people talk.
It is
about
open.
I've seen things. I don't know how do you do PTR?
What is
You
PTR?
go into
Public Test Realm, I think.
you go into your settings on your account. You just log in for PTR, and then you have to download a PTR client.
Oh, okay. Do you like start a fresh? I guess you'd start a fresh character for.
No, I think you can transfer your characters over.
I think.
But this
why
might-
would you
this
do
will-
that
this
for
will be a
Hardcore? Yeah,
fresh.
this should be different. I think I saw that levels are capped at 30 for the PTR for Hardcore right now. I could be wrong on that.
That I don't
I think
know.
I saw that. Which means that the Hardcore servers are coming soon.
Yay.
And they've made some announcements that make me less excited about Hardcore.
Yeah, friends, Romans, gentlemen, lend me your ears.
Oh, yeah. So you don't know what the string of ears is.
No.
Okay, so the string of ears is the least annoying thing. I actually think that's kind of cool. You can duel. There's an option in Hardcore servers now to duel
To the death, yes.
And if you win a duel to the death, you get an ear to add to your string of ears, and you get like a buff. I don't think it's a buff, but I think it's like it shows up that you have this, that you've won duels, right? So every time you win a duel, you get another ear added to your string of ears. So you can be, so it's like an achievement more than anything. So you can be that person running around. If you're really good, you can be like, I have ended the lives of 19 hardcore characters through duels, not ghouls, duels. And I think that's cool because if you're running around the hardcore world and you see some guy with like 100 ears, that comes through the.
We had a lot of bangs on that last
That's
episode.
because Sam is constantly messing with her mic stand.
Well,
Stop fiddling with your mic stand.
well, I have nothing to play with.
Just listen to the conversation and like contribute. Don't fiddle with your mic stand because it honestly it vibrates up through and
Yeah.
it shows up as like
You have
every time
absolutely
you touch
no
that.
It's
idea.
not just me.
It's mostly you. It does it also. It also does it when I have to fix my mic stand sometimes too. What was I saying? Oh yeah.
Sorry,
so if you're
I
walking
Did you
around,
break it?
I did.
Sam broke it and then gave me the broken one.
You're the one who sets it up.
Yeah. But so if you're running around the hardcore realm, right, and you see some guy with like 100 ears, that is 100 forced deletes or forced transfers that he has made. Because if you die, so if you die on hardcore, that's another thing that they announced. If you die on hardcore, you will have the option for a free character transfer to another Wrath era realm.
That's like Valheim.
Is it? You can character
You
transfer?
died, so the spirit comes up and takes you to another realm to fight on.
Okay, yeah, kind of like Valheim then. So that's cool because it's better than paying for a res, like $10 real money for a res on the hardcore realm. Your character is still gone from that hardcore realm. You die on the hardcore realm, you don't get to play there anymore. You have to start a new character. But say you have a level 60 that you've put a bunch of time into, you don't lose.
You have a
the
level
character.
60 that you put a bunch of time into, you don't lose the character.
Yes.
Why did you repeat that?
Because I
told-
said, say you have a.
Oh.
Yeah, he's making everything difficult again. That way, like, say, because there was a hardcore player the other day, maybe it was a week or two ago now, that had done the Thunder Fury, and he had Thunder Fury, and he died. And I'm pretty sure he wanted to keep that character around. You could just transfer that and be like, and keep your legendary and be like, this is my hardcore character that I got to 60. Isn't he pretty? And all this stuff.
So if you transfer it to a different realm, you can continue playing it, or no?
Yeah, you just keep playing it.
Oh, okay.
So like, it's basically you can use it as a different way to level alts. So we could go.
Okay. Well, we should have a competition. We should
it's
join
more or
the
less what hardcore is.
hardcore
Yeah.
and see who will last the longest. Clearly, we know who will die first, but I think it would be. Oh, I was thinking me.
Oh,
Oh, I was thinking Josh.
He was.
Josh, you
that's
forgot
that's
forgot the
problem.
wings.
You need your wings.
That's my problem with hardcore. I do know how to play, and I'm not terrible, but I tend to just not pay attention to what I'm doing.
But this will
I'm
make
guessing. Sorry, this will make you.
you pay attention.
I've never died on hardcore.
Have you ever played hardcore?
Yes.
Huh.
I haven't
He
gotten to 60.
Played it in Season of Mastery.
I did have a couple characters in Season of Mastery. I didn't get them very high, but I never died. I had a couple in the mid-20s, maybe 30s.
But is that something we should do between the three of us, or
Yes.
whoever wants to join from
We
our
absolutely
Discord?
should. I mean, as
See
many
if
people
we
who want to
can-
do it, we could even make our own little hardcore guild. See, the cord doesn't, still don't.
You
but,
looked at
like,
me, so I figured
I
I, wasn't
know,
allowed
I
touching
know.
that.
Hard casuals.
Hard casuals. Mere 10. Oh, we could call it 10 hard man mode. Make a guild called 10 hard
Is
man.
that too long?
I don't know. We could figure out what fits.
Hardly merely
hard
hard.
man mode. Let's just call our guild hard man mode.
Merely hard.
Let's just hope that one of the 8 people that listen to this episode doesn't steal our name. So hard man mode.
Okay.
That's our.
When does that
gonna be-
start?
I don't know. They haven't announced a date yet.
Okay.
But now I'm more excited than I was.
But yeah, I
So-
think we should do that.
We make characters.
I said, oh.
We make characters. We rush to the main city. We get our little army of hard men to roll up with us.
Women.
You can be a hard man too, Sam.
Okay.
So we could all start out like making the same race, just so that we can all rush to the city and make our guild.
Okay.
And we can see who gets the highest.
Level 1 ventures out of the starting zone and they all die on the way to...
Well, no, you got to do your first 5 levels or whatever. We got to make sure we get our guild name. So we can shoot. What was I going to say?
Are we sticking with Alliance?
We could. It doesn't matter. Like maybe you know what? Let's do like a
guess-
poll in our Discord
Okay.
and be like, we're gonna play some hardcore. Maybe not a ton, but we're gonna play some hardcore. We're gonna make a guild.
Should we wait till this is
should we
out
play
before
Alliance
we
or
add
Horde?
it at the poll? Or should I add the poll after we're done recording?
Doesn't matter. We can add it whenever. So, but what I was saying is that you can use that as a different way, as an alternate way to level an alt. Because if you get to 50 or 60,
And you die.
just play a character that you're going to want to play anyways. You die, you transfer off, and you've got a level 50 alt that you can keep leveling on your main server. So it's not as harsh to have, like, you don't have to delete. Now, if I'm playing hardcore
You're gonna make a
and I
paladin.
get to like level 18, no, it's classic era. I might level a ret
Okay, so
paladin
what's
just
classic?
for difficulty because they suck.
What's classic? Great.
It's
classes?
pre-expansions.
What are my choices?
What do you mean? What are your choices?
You can't play a paladin.
You can play a paladin. Everything except for Death Knights and Blood Elves.
Oh,
and
the way
Draenei
you
is
said
gonna
that
be
was
in.
like...
Yeah.
Well, no, I
And-
was saying that because paladins in classic era are bad.
And
Also can't be horde.
What are good?
paladins are, yeah. So paladins are only on Alliance and shamans are only on Horde.
Oh.
I might want to play a paladin just for difficulty because they're, like I said, they're bad.
So that would be Alliance.
But I don't know. We could do whatever. We'll figure it out. We'll do a poll. We'll see what people think.
If you die and transfer, can you faction change? Because if you're
You'd
going
have
to
to
play...
pay for that one.
You'd probably have to pay for the
Yes.
faction change.
Well, you have one in the bank.
No, she's a race
I have a
change.
race.
Oh, raise change. Yeah, but I mean, if you're going to transfer, do you want to transfer a Horde alt to wherever we're playing, or would you rather transfer?
I personally would rather just play Alliance so that
So then we can just
that it's
transfer to
not messy.
Benediction.
Yeah,
And
that's what I thought.
And I've gotten used to it. Now, that said, low level progression, I do prefer the Horde zones for leveling.
Like Orc. I like...
Like Orc. Yeah, Orc is my
I do
favorite.
not like Thunder Bluff.
No, I hate Thunderbluff.
I don't like that. What?
Do
You
you know
looked
how
at me
many
and
people
smiled,
die?
so I was...
Do you
Falling
know how
off
many
the
people
bridge.
die falling off of Thunderbluff? How many times did you... Okay, so while we were doing the bonfire...
Can we not talk about that?
How many times did you die the other day doing the bonfires?
Can I
Falling off of Thunderbluff?
Can I tell you something? Were you a Draenei?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I went on my shaman, and I was
Did you fall?
on my elk,
Did
and I
you
went over that
fall?
bridge, I fell off the bridge.
How? I've never fallen
It's
off
got to
the
be
bridge.
something with the elephants.
Weird.
It is weird.
Am I not a... What am I?
You're a human.
I'm human. Okay, yeah.
I was a human as well when I was playing on Ogona. But when I
So-
took Okona, I know, confusing. They're both Okona. But when I took the shaman, I fell off the bridge. And interesting.
So it's funny. I was watching Bob's stream kind of off and on while
So
I was
I'm not
doing
going
other
to answer the
things.
question.
Oh, what was the... Did
How
I
many
ask the
times did
question?
I
Oh, how
fall?
many times? Do you remember?
It was 2 or 3.
It was at least 3. Because
It was 3?
I kept
Okay.
It
having
was at least
I
3.
kept having to run back and res you at the base of the cliff.
Well,
at one point-
my question is, so if I may interject quickly, how many times are you, I'm done with this during that thing?
Every time I fell.
I'm done with this.
It was funny though because I was watching Bob's stream while they were doing
Did
that.
they fall? Did someone fall?
And well, they go up, right? And I'm watching the stream and I'm not commenting because I'm doing something. I don't remember what I was doing, but I was busy doing something. I was kind of at the corner of my eye and I saw they were in Thunder Bluff. And I was like, oh, they're going to get the fire for the quest so they can do one of the achievements, right? And they go up and a few guards attack them and they're like running away and panicking. And I'm like,
why?
Just kill them. Like, what are you doing? Like, you can almost one-shot them. They're easy to kill. And he's like running around and he's like, oh, and Mel was with him and she's like, oh, I still got to get the flame. And he's like, oh, I got aggro. And he's like running around like it's a big deal. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, okay, now we got to both jump off. You got slow fall up. And I'm like, okay. And I'm just watching like in disbelief at what I'm seeing here.
Was it just the two of them?
So she jumps
or did they have
off
a
with
group?
it was just the two of them.
So she jumps off with slow fall and he just jumps off the edge and dies. He's like, oh, well, I'm dead. And I'm like, but why didn't you just kill them and use the lift? Like, what are you... It was funny and kind of bad.
Have they
Did you
ever
comment?
played Horde?
I don't know.
Because they didn't know where they... Sorry, guys, we're making fun of you. I know we're terrible people. It's but it was... Okay, first of all, trying to convince him that he has to go to the Horde capital cities was a pain.
What do you mean? It says right in the achievement.
No, because the bonfires you put out are not part of the bonfire achievement, but that thief one, but it doesn't explain what it is. So he's like,
Yeah,
well...
it does. It says right in the achievement what you're supposed to do. I
So
knew, and I didn't look it up.
They hit Orgrimmar, and then they hit Undercity.
Yeah.
And like, okay, well, there's nothing going on. I'll try to do my best Bob impersonation. There's nothing going on, but so I guess we don't have to go to the other capital city. No, you have to. And he goes, well, I don't know what to tell you, Kona. I'm looking at it here, and I've showed you, and it's not there. I said, I'm telling you that I've done this twice. And he goes, yeah, well, it's not there. We don't have to do it. And I said, dude, I've done it twice. And then I started to doubt myself. I said, okay, maybe he's only looking at it from a meta perspective, and maybe it's not in the meta.
It is. It absolutely is.
So I'm looking at it going, okay, no, it's in the meta. So I said, Bob, and I linked him the meta. And then finally he's like, well, Kona, looks like you're right. I said, dude, repeat yourself. I want to soundbite that. He did not repeat himself.
I should do that on my priest. I'm assuming you guys already did it on your
I haven't.
100 adults.
I haven't done it on my ults.
Okay,
I've done
4
some of it.
ults, 3 ults.
I've done some of it on my Lobby Warrior just for the experience. Because it's decent experience to run around and get the ones that are close.
We can do it on our other Okona.
Well, no,
Willriker.
I've done it with both of my Okonas.
Oh.
Because
Does
I started over
want to
with...
do it?
Yeah, I got 2. I got a warrior and I got
I don't
useless.
remember the warrior's name.
Rashenko.
Oh. It's not Torash anymore.
No, went from Torash to something else.
Rajinko?
So it's been Torash.
Yeah.
I got stuck up with Chris Pike. Oh wait, no, he wasn't Chris Pike.
No, that was the druid. So I also have under the hardcore PTR the other change. Well, not really change. The other aspect that they announced is that they're allowing trading in auction house, which I don't like that at all. Like I've heard other people make points that okay, let each person play their own way, and if you want to do solo self-found, you can. But the thing is, what that means is you're going to be able to start at level 1, and you're just going to be able to auction house some green gear whenever you need it. You're going to be able to buy potions. You're going to be able to buy scrolls, whatever you want to buy. You're going to be able to do that. You can pool money on an alt that you don't run out into dangerous situations, and just you can buy enchants. Like there's all kinds of stuff that you can. Well, I guess there won't be inscription scrolls in Classic Era, so you can't buy them off the auction house. But it makes it so much easier, especially. If like the thing with hardcore, and someone else said this as well. I don't remember who it was. It might have been on Bob's podcast. But the thing with hardcore is when you start at level 1, you're starting on an even playing field with everybody else. Everybody starts at level 1 with no gear, and everybody just has to work their way through.
So you can't
get your
transfer
quest
over
gear, whatever you
No.
get. No, there'll be no heirlooms on Classic Era anyways. You get whatever you get lucky and find while you're questing and killing. You get whatever you can buy. There's some vendors that sell decent like weapons and stuff.
Yep.
It's all an even playing field. Everyone has access to the exact same stuff. But now with trading and auction house open, you're going to have that mismatch of people who play more are going to have money pooled and they have an advantage.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, you might say, oh, so what? Just play your own game the way you want to play it. And I generally don't care what other people are doing when I'm playing. But it's kind of... See,
defeats the point of
now I sound
hardcore.
like the people I complain about when it comes to regular realms.
No,
but
you don't.
like,
I'll tell you why when you're ready.
but it's like that's the whole point of hardcore is this challenge, right? And it's not a challenge if you're funneling money into hardcore alts.
Right. Okay. So yes, you're right. It's not you complaining. It's not you sounding like everybody else. They have a place for people to play how they want to play, all over the place.
Yeah.
They have the classic era. They have the Wrath of the Lich King era, and they have retail. The thing is, this particular set is a game that was made on a set of rules.
Yeah.
So you're supposed to go in thinking about these rules. Now they're changing the rules for the softer people.
Yes. Now they did some of the changes I'm okay with because I didn't like the official hardcore rules. Like with dungeons, for example, with the official hardcore community rules, like with the app and the ones that they do on the classic era realms,
You can run it once.
you can only run a dungeon once, which I was like, that's silly. I don't like that. What they did with the new hardcore realms is they have an hour cooldown on the dungeons. So you can run every dungeon as many times as you want, but only one an hour. And that 1 per hour is removed when you hit 60. And part of that is when you hit 60, it'll be impossible to run dungeons with people under 60 because the lockouts will be messed up. So I guess you can't power level or boost or however you call it. You can't boost people, like dungeon boost people with higher levels. And they're also, I think they tightened the level range maybe. I know they have maybe they just use the same one as is now. But like if you have too much of a level range, experience is reduced to like almost nothing. So you can't. It's a boost reduction strategies.
So I think with the dungeons, like I might agree with the old rules as well, because if it's a one and done kind of thing, you've killed the people in the dungeon. There's nothing to go back to.
Yeah, I mean that's true.
In the open world, I can get it because it's a race of people. They've replenished their race.
Yeah, but the thing with the dungeon rule is I think they're trying to prevent people from spamming dungeons to level.
Yes, that was on my mind as well.
But isn't that more dangerous than running quests in open world? Like, isn't that more dangerous? Because like,
if you have a group that knows what they're doing and they get in there and they get comfortable, then no, it's just repetition.
I mean, yeah.
There's always a realm of possible chaos, but
it is that the same applies to open world. If you're grouped and everybody knows what they're doing.
Except the random devil star that comes up behind you.
Let's finish up whatever we were saying about the hardcore, because that is part of the news, and then we'll finish off the news and then we'll move on. But what were we saying specifically? We were talking about the trading.
The dungeons.
Dungeons, right, the dungeons.
The one and done.
I don't know. I like the fact that they let you do more than one dungeon. And I'm fine with an hour cooldown. Like most dungeons take almost that much time at low levels, right? Like what are you gonna do? Spam 5 Wailing Caverns runs in an hour? You're not gonna do that.
Oh, I'd love to. I wonder if that 1 hour might start when you're done. Once the final boss is killed.
I don't know how it works.
But then I don't know.
Yeah, well, that wouldn't prevent spamming dungeons because then you just don't kill the final boss. But I like being able to take multiple runs because sometimes there's an item you want out of a dungeon. And you're willing to slow up your leveling process a little bit to run the dungeon multiple times to get it. Like what if there is like a really nice weapon that you want?
Shadowfang Keep for rogues.
And it doesn't drop. You want to be able to go back and try again.
The assassination
Did you ever
blade.
get that?
Oh, you're thinking Fell Striker? No, that's not Shadowfang Keep. Shadowfang Keep is for a lower level.
Never mind.
Level 29.
Assassination blade. Isn't that a BOE? Can't that drop anywhere? Or is there a different one? Because Assassination Blade is a sword with crit on it.
Yeah,
I remember I did use that for a bit.
There is a blade in Shadowfang Keep, and for some reason...
It's a dagger, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the one you mean. It's a trash drop from Shadowfang, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the one you mean. I don't remember what it's called. But either way, to answer Sam's question...
Shadowfang.
It's called Shadowfang?
Yeah.
What zone does it drop in?
Oh, no, that's the blue one and a sword.
It's a sword? I thought it was a dagger.
No, Shadowfang is a sword. Assassin's Blade is the dagger.
What was my question?
Do we want to do hardcore?
Oh,
Basically, yes.
Okay.
And we can turn it into a competition if you want. See how far we can get. We could, because I want to try with multiple classes.
Because I thought for hardcore, you can't group with people.
You can in official WoW hardcore servers. In the WoW hardcore community servers, they have these like complicated, convoluted rules about grouping that I don't like. I like that you can group with anybody. Because that means the three of us, if we want to get on in group, we can group. If I want to play without you guys, I can play without you guys.
You usually
Although it would be cool to have a group that we just play together. But like if it's a competition,
we try that all the time,
and we do.
But then you get bored and you carry on.
It's not just him.
We still have characters the same level. It wasn't me that stopped playing him. It was you, because you stopped logging on. Every time we wanted to play, you'd be like, no. Or like Al would be at work, and it just didn't line up.
I took most of last week off. I worked one day last week.
I didn't work any days last week.
Me neither.
How much time did we get to play together?
I didn't play at all. Actually, I tried to last night.
How'd that go?
You guys found a fifth before I logged on.
You say it like we were the ones putting the group together.
I was asleep. You woke me up.
We were in the other room watching TV.
I was upstairs.
Anyway, enough of us being bitter about Varg.
I'm not bitter about Varg.
Has nothing to do with that.
I was just stating what happened.
So what were the other... You said there was more news. What was the other news?
Well, we were talking about the raid lockout. We didn't get into that.
Oh. One more thing. Sorry about the hardcore. There was a bug, apparently.
It's a bug. Kill it.
There was a blue post / news. Apparently, there's a bug on the hardcore servers where if you jump while in combat, you can die. So...
And that was the other one.
Oh, was it? Because Blizzard has come out and said...
you don't die.
Just don't... Well,
you DC.
Disconnect and then die while you're disconnecting. So short story
So
long.
does that count as your deaths?
So Blizzard put a statement out saying...
can I read it? Can I read it?
Okay,
Can I read it?
yeah.
It's right here. He goes, in the meantime, please avoid jumping in combat, as this is indeed caused by being stunned, rooted, otherwise CC'd in midair.
I love that is their solution. Like you can just, if you jump during combat, you just die. Yeah. They're like, well, have you tried just not jumping during combat? Maybe we'll fix it later if we get around to it.
Have you tried not being a jumper?
Yeah.
But isn't there like some combats that you have to like jump for some
not
reason?
Really. No.
Not there.
So. No? Okay.
You do in the Nexus.
There's no places where you have to jump while in combat. If you're doing like certain skip runs in some dungeons and stuff, there's places where you need to. But
the Nexus, when you're facing Alexstrasza? Do I have the name right?
No, you don't have to jump. You have to move. Jumping is a form of movement. You can just kind of hit back and forth on your keyboard if you want. Mm-hmm. There are other ways to do that without jumping. So yeah, can you imagine? You're fighting the dragon at the end of... How do I make this stop?
Turn it off.
Can I mute a tab?
Just go down and mute your whole thing.
It's on your other screen, not that one.
This screen doesn't have sound.
But that's where it keeps popping up.
Oh, hold on. No, because I turned my volume way down. Like my volume's off. It's this one. It's because I have Discord open.
He's good at games, but give him technology and he's effed.
There, I turned off my volume. That should stop now.
That was my other news, by the way, the crowd control.
Oh, okay, because I thought you were moving away from hardcore, so I wanted to get that back in before we stopped talking about hardcore.
I didn't realize it was hardcore. I just thought it was something that happened in general.
It might be in general, but I don't know. I thought it was to do with the hardcore servers, but maybe not.
So are we done with the news?
Oh, it's on the Classic Era PTR.
Yeah, so that's hardcore.
Yeah. But no, so we were going to the raid logouts for TOGC. So they're saying they're aware that there's issues, that the raid logouts are shorter. It says, but don't you do it, because if you do it, we're going to get you in trouble.
That I don't like. I mean, if there's a problem, either fix your problem or don't complain about people exploiting it. Like, this is Blizzard, this is on you. You made the mistake. Because, I mean, I get it that people can exploit this. I don't know how it works. I think it's something to do with leaving the last boss up.
And this is Blizzard going, yeah, you're right, but we own the banhammer.
Yeah, but it's silly. They're like, okay, we know this is a problem. We're not fixing it yet, but in the meantime, don't take advantage of this problem that we screwed up on.
Well, it was the same thing when just before, I think it was just before Wrath of the Lich King came out in retail, when one of the vendors, something you needed either a certain currency for or a certain rep for, where there was a helm that you can purchase off the vendor, but somehow that got unlocked and everybody was purchasing it. There was a crowd of people. You could barely click the vendor and to buy this helm. And then I think you were part of it because I think you still had one left over when it was done.
When was this?
This was on the release of one of the games. Either way, I got the helm, but it was taken away from me, but I didn't get banned.
I would never cheat. But no, it reminds me, what?
You both made yourselves coffee?
Yeah, remember Al was like, can we take this opportunity for a coffee
Do you want me to
break?
make you a coffee?
And we both
No, I
picked up
put
our
laundry
mugs and
in.
walked out.
Sorry, I didn't
You
even
could have
think.
gotten a coffee. There's a coffee maker right there.
I'm sorry, I didn't even think. Do you want me to make you a coffee?
No, it's okay.
Okay. Did you want another coffee?
No,
Oh, okay. So you're not missing out.
no,
Okay.
no, I
But
didn't.
yeah, so it reminds me of another game that I used to play, because I quit.
You didn't quit because of me.
I quit for reasons.
Is it because of me?
No, not
Because I
specifically.
stopped
EQ?
complaining.
Yeah, he specifically said it was because of you.
I quit for other reasons as well, mostly other reasons.
Okay,
But that's
I'm going to quit WoW.
that's not the problem. That's not what I'm trying to talk about.
You know, I'm just kidding.
With EQ,
No,
I wasn't
don't.
gonna name the game, but if with EQ, if there's a bug and the game developers know about it, it's on them to fix it. And in the meantime, people are going to exploit it, because if you screw up making your game and there's unintended consequences, that's not the player's fault. That's your fault. So it's true.
But if the players know what the rules are
Like,
and
for
take
exam-
advantage of it,
What rules? The rules of the game are as made by the game developer.
yes, and it's like raids have this time of a lockout.
Well, like, for example, I'll give you an example. When the new server, this was 2 years ago now, when they started this Mischief server where there was random loot and everything was tradable, and there was chances off of bosses where you could get extra bonus loot tables. Some of the earlier guilds, to get into the planes, like the raiding zones, they discovered that if you killed these mini bosses, they reset fast and they could drop the top tier boss loot, and they were dropping like sometimes like 10 or 11 bosses worth of loot off of one golem.
Holy sugar.
So they were going in, and if you have a good enough group, you could split your raid and kill these things with like 10 people. So the top guilds were, there's mainly one guild. The top, probably two. The top one or two guilds were splitting their like 150-man rosters, and they were going and they were doing they were spawning picks of this zone. So it's kind of like the picks work kind of like phases in WoW, only they work better. If a zone reaches a cap, it's so much better than the way WoW does it. Let me explain it and tell me if you think WoW should do this, because I'm gonna go on a tangent. I'm gonna explain how picks work, because I think WoW should do this. Because in EverQuest there are target thresholds for population in the zone, right? So if you've got a zone and there are, like, say the threshold for that zone is like 50 players. If you reach 50 players, it spawns a new version of that zone, and you can type /pick and it'll bring up a menu and you can see all the versions of that zone. You can pick over to a different zone, right? So it's like the phases in WoW, only you control where you go. So, like, say me and Sam are in Dalaran in a group and I want to hand her something, and we're in a different phase. I guess I can just never trade with her now. Or, like, if we're in a quest zone and we're trying to do a quest and shoot, Sam's in a different phase. I guess we just can't play together today. So instead of that, you can type /pick and you can choose to go to the same pick as the rest of your group. So you can basically choose your layer.
Oh,
It's
that would be cool
it
because
is
of all
wonderful.
the times we've been in different layers and you're like, crap.
So the thing I just said.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's great
listening.
because it solves the population problem with zones being overpopulated. It has the layers, but you control what layer you're in to some degree. When you zone in, it initially picks one for you, but then you can choose where you go. It's tough to exploit because there's a 5-minute cooldown on switching layers. So you can't just stand on an ore node and keep switching spawns. There's a set point in the zone that it resets you to if you switch layers. So you can't just stand on a certain point and farm a spot. And
That would be convenient, though.
but what people were doing to exploit this bug with the loot is they were zoning enough people into the open world version of the zone, spawning a new pick, splitting their raid, going to the new pick, then spawning a new one, splitting the raid, going to the new pick, and they were farming these bosses for like 3 or 4 days before they patched it. And basically, because everything was tradable on the server, they were able to like gear their entire guild and then sell a whole bunch of extra loot for tons of money, and it was great. But the thing is, the game developers were like, yeah, that's not the way it's supposed to work. But I mean, what can we do until we fix it? I guess that's the way it is. And they fixed it a few days later, but like, yeah, it is what it is. And later on one of the later expansions, there was another bug where there's like a legacy gear vendor.
Yep.
And what it did was it would buy back. They added this into like the retail version of the game as a way to get something out of some older legacy items you could get. So you could go to older zones, and there was one zone in particular where if you triggered the last boss, it made the other bosses in the zone no longer spawn ever, like forever, ever. So the loot tables on those bosses were gone permanently from the game once you triggered this last boss. So this particular server had randomized loot. So loot from those bosses that were removed from the game could still possibly drop off of other bosses. So they added this buyback vendor so that if you had some legacy gear in the retail version off of these old bosses, you could vendor it to them. They would give you what's called nobles. It's a currency, and then you could vendor that currency for like 100,000 platinum, which is, an okay amount of money each, like to a normal vendor, and it's a way to get something for these old legacy items. So what you could do is you could go to one of a couple zones, and you could farm bosses at later expansions. You could, like, I could take my group of 4 or 5 in there, and I could easily kill these bosses, and they could drop multiple of these legacy items, and then I could go track down this vendor and sell them and get a ton of money for them. And people were using that to like inflate the currency on the server, and it was getting really out of hand. And some people in my guild were like, don't do this, they're banning people that do this. I'm like, they're not banning people that do this. They don't ban people for this stuff. So I went and did it, and I farmed a bunch, and I made a bunch of money, and they didn't ban me. So I was like, yeah, see, they don't ban people for this. This is their problem. They did this. It's a problem they caused. So like, I think if they messed up the lockout on TOGC, then yeah, people take advantage. They take advantage.
Yeah.
Maybe fix your game. And
well, I mean, it's new. You got to give them a chance to get used to it.
Get used to what?
I mean, it's new. The game is new. They got to give them a chance to get used to it.
Yeah, no. I mean, this Wrath of the Lich King did not originally come out in 2008. It's a brand new expansion.
Yeah.
So that was all the news. You didn't do anything this week, so I'm not even going to ask.
She did a hoon.
Oh, yeah, I guess we did.
We did the Fire Festival.
So let's do a quick what did we do this week, because we finished off the Fire Festival, right?
Yeah. I've run maybe 1 or 2 dungeons, nothing memorable that I can remember. Unless, did we do the one where it was all of us together?
The 3.
Before the last podcast?
I feel like we talked about that last podcast.
Okay, then yeah, no, nothing special.
So Sam hasn't really done anything with us this week.
I did almost get to 450 in tailoring.
So you did do something.
But then I ran out of frost weave, but then you guys have been sending it to me, but I haven't been on to use it yet.
Do you think you have enough? Like, can I stop sending you frost weave? Because I sent you like hundreds of frost weave.
I have bolts. I don't know if I sent any. I must have sent it to you. Yeah, because I wouldn't mind getting my bandages up.
Send it.
I don't know about bolts, but I think I sent frost weave to you.
Okay, I should be good then.
Going quickly back to the phases thing is that I was making a ring for somebody. Mm-hmm. The Earthen Guard ring was necklace. The tanking neck. Mm-hmm. And we were in Dalaran.
The titanium something joker.
Titanium Earth Guard, yeah. And we couldn't connect. And we're just, well, dude, we don't know. I said, Violet Hold? He goes, yeah, let's go in there. We went into the Violet Hold.
It's because the way Blizzard does their phases is stupid. Yeah. And there are better ways to do it, and other games do it better.
Didn't grouping used to pull you into the same phase?
It's supposed to. But people were using that to exploit the game, so they changed it, I guess, so that doesn't work anymore.
Exploit the game. All they're doing is just getting to where their friends are.
Well, people were using it to, like, mine extra stuff. And you know what? You can't have people getting extra things.
Yeah.
Especially if it takes a bunch of extra work to do it. Like, it's...
I did my crafting in Violet Hold, though. So while prisoners were trying to escape,
It's crazy that you have to go into a dungeon just to trade with someone in Dalaran because they can't figure out how
glad
to
there's
make
a
their
dungeon
faces
in
big.
Dalaran.
Well, yeah, it's kind of convenient because we've tried when we've been stuck like that. We've tried like, oh, okay, well, let's take a flight path and go to a different zone that doesn't have quest phases. Still stuck in different phases. Like
Yeah.
we've had
We've
days.
even tried to go into Violet Hold before, and we were still stuck in.
No,
different phases.
Well, yeah, we went into
Something-
Violet Hold and then came back out thinking we'd be in the right phase, and we weren't. Like we've had entire days where we've tried to play with each other, and where we've tried
Why?
to play together.
I didn't say it.
And we couldn't do anything. We had to stop playing because no matter what we did, no matter where we went in the world, we could not get in the same phase. We were like, okay, I get it. Ice Crown's kind of messy with the phases. Let's go quest in like Grizzly Hills. We couldn't get in the same phase. Well, let's go to Sholazar. We couldn't get in the same phase. Like no matter where we went, we were trapped in separate phases. Can't heal each other. Can't do damage to the same mob. Don't get experience when the other person does stuff. It's really annoying.
Yeah, and you can't say anything to them because they're always right. They have the banhammer.
Oh, every time it happens, well, they can ban us for getting stuck in different phases.
No, I
every
just
time
like
it
they have the
happens, I
banhammer
put in
being my
a-
statement. That's all.
Every time it happens, I put in a ticket and complain. And the most recent time I put in a ticket, they every time you put in a ticket, they'll respond. They'll respond to the ticket by saying absolutely nothing, and then they'll make you fill out a survey to let them know how well they did with their ticket response. The most recent time I did it, I got the notice on my screen that I had a survey that I had to go fill out. You can't just opt not to. They had a survey that you go fill out on how Blizzard did responding to your ticket. And that survey plops itself right over my threat meter on my UI. And I couldn't get it to go away. Every time I tried to open the survey, it would just sit there in like circle thingy load for like 5 minutes until I finally got bored and just went back to the game.
Did you have to find the
I
lights?
did I have to what?
All the different lights? Or cars? Or balls?
Oh no, that's the robot detector. This was like they actually wanted me to do a survey, but I had the survey notice stuck on my UI for like a week and a half because every time I tried to open it, it wouldn't open. It was really annoying. Okay, I'm done complaining now.
Can I finish?
Yes. What were you saying?
So I'm almost at 450 with tailoring. And I need to disenchant more stuff because I need more crystals because they're too expensive to buy. Even though I do have a lot of money now,
What
I
do
don't
you
really
want?
to.
Like, where are you at for that?
I'm at like 335.
So are you still in Burning Crusade stuff?
Yes.
Then we just need to get on and run some Burning Crusade dungeons and just disenchant everything.
Okay.
Well, yeah, let's look at our achievements and see what we need to run.
I feel like we need the Tempest Keep ones still.
Yeah, the
Because we
calculator.
didn't do the heroics because last time we tried, you guys didn't have the keys. So if we
There's
get
only
you
one-
guys your Tempest Keep dungeon keys, we can run those.
And we can do some more mount runs. We keep saying, oh, we gotta do our mount runs. We never do.
Well, let's do our map runs then.
We're busy tonight.
Yeah, we're busy tonight. It's our anniversary, Alan.
Yes, I know. So you going to raid tonight?
Maybe.
He put tentative.
I put tentative because we're going out at 5 and Sam goes to bed at like 7:30. So why shouldn't I be able to do a 10-man at 8? What are you going to stay up?
Maybe. I have to go back to
Maybe
work
she
tomorrow.
wants
Work
you.
at like
Maybe
6
she
a.m.
wants you
You're
to
not
go
gonna
to bed
stay
with her.
Nah,
I got that
she's
complaint
not
a
into
lot.
that.
But you know what? I always said stop going to bed at 7 if you want me to go to bed with.
Yeah, if you stayed up till 11 or 12 or 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 every night, then I'd go to bed with you every night.
Jesus.
You just have to sleep
The other
less.
night we were playing a game and I was so tired I just went to bed and you stayed up with your ex-wife.
Well, yeah, because you said you were coming back down.
Down.
We had the game set up, and Sam's like, I'm just going to walk over here for a second. She just went to bed and didn't answer.
I
when
put
was
someone to
texting.
bed
Yeah, you're
because
supposed
he
to
was
come back down.
cranky.
It was 8 o'clock, Sam.
It was 11:30.
It wasn't 11:30.
It was 11:30.
It was like 9:30.
No, it was 11:30.
It was at most 10:30.
Yeah, if that's written with 2 1s.
I will check the time she texted me telling me not to be a little bitch and come back down.
Yeah, and you should have. But no, she passed out. So what did you do? Did you do anything else this week before I move on to my topic of the week?
Well, I did the Fire Festival on my shaman.
Are we still going to do a bonus episode about the Fire Festival? We should.
I'm ready, and I keep bringing it up, but
Let's
When
do
have you
it.
ever brought it up?
Let's do it. And we won't.
a number of times. I can look back at timestamps for the messages,
I should probably
read
check Discord more
messages.
often.
and I did it verbally as well.
So at like what time?
Well,
did
you don't
what-
check messages.
I'm kidding.
How the hell else am I supposed to get a hold of you? Come over
check
and knock on
messages.
your door?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, sure.
So
Do you know how much I drink?
So like half an hour or so.
I didn't drink anything last night. It was
I
so
don't know,
out of
20
it.
minutes before you got here, like after we had this whole conversation. I walk into the kitchen to take my dishes out because I'm cleaning up in here, getting ready to go, right? Getting ready to record. And I walk past our little like interior window in the kitchen, and Sam's sitting in the chair, and she's like, "Do we know if Al's coming over or not yet?" And I was like, "Check your Discord." Because this is after we had a conversation about what time you were coming over, and you're like, "Okay, well, I'm going to shower and be right over." And
I
stuff.
never got a
She's
notification.
like, "Is Al coming?" I was like, "Yeah."
I'd also like to say Tom Riker is very antisocial.
How?
What?
Did your guild chat blocked?
No.
You didn't see me said, fine, don't talk to me then. Then I logged out.
This morning?
No, last night.
I wasn't playing him last night.
Tom Riker was on last night.
Are you sure?
Yes. I said, hey, guildy, and then nothing. And then you're still doing stuff.
So
and
here's
then-
the thing.
And then I was getting ready to log out. I said, okay, let's just send this little spice thing. Say, fine, don't talk to me then.
So
And I
here's-
put exclamation mark, log out.
Here's the problem I'm having. I'm used to Ash Candy still. The server where no one plays and nothing ever happens. So it's kind of like the
I have a different guild window. Guild chat window.
yeah, I'm getting to that. So here's my problem. I'm used to Ash Candy where I can just leave my guild chat and my whispers, whatever they're called. Are they called whispers?
Yes.
Okay. My guild chat and whispers and party chat, I just leave them in my main chat window and don't worry about it because I'm going to be able to see it because no one ever does anything. Like every 5 minutes, someone will be like, yeah, does anyone want to run a dungeon? And nobody answers. So I'm used to that. So now that we're on Benediction and my guild chat is moving at a speed of about 40 posts per minute, I miss so many messages. And on one of my characters, I have a separate window for guild chat and personal messages. And I can't figure out how to also get them out of the other one. And then I tried doing that on my main character, and I
You're
couldn't
the one
figure
who
out how to get
showed
the extra
me how
window
to
to
do
work.
it.
I can.
can't
You
get any
right
of it
click,
to work.
go to settings. It gives you a bunch of boxes. You can take the different tells out of it.
But there's channels, and then there's filters, and then there's I don't know what they all do. How am I supposed to know what all
That
this
I
stuff
know
is?
how to do.
Well, yeah.
In the game, that's the one thing I know how to do.
So Sam can show you. We
Then
also
show
have,
me how to do it because I cannot get it to work properly.
We
no matter
all-
what I do, like if I try and set it up, I'll make a separate window for guild chat, and then suddenly like trade chat isn't working in trade chat anymore, or like last time I tried to do it, it made a separate window for like open world. Like I don't know what's going on. I don't know how to work it. It's annoying. So as a result, I just reset it back to default, and I just don't hear anything anyone says.
looks like a noob's not just in TOGC right now, eh?
Well, I don't. You know what I do? Like, say, I don't know what.
Like, have you ever right clicked and say move to another window? So you got that.
I know how to
you-
make another window appear, but then, like, where do I put it? I don't want it on my screen.
Well, you can have tabs.
Can I?
Yeah.
Because I don't know. It's annoying. I need to fix it. I don't get any messages. Also, I go AFK a lot. Like, I'll be sitting in Dalaran, and I will just wander off to go work on my puzzle or something, and I don't log out, because why would I log out? I don't feel like logging out.
Because your guildies might be talking to you going, oh, I finally have a friend I can play with.
But I wasn't at the computer, so I can't be held responsible for missing your messages if I don't see your messages. Basically, I don't see anything anyone says.
You didn't respond to it anyway, so I didn't figure you saw it.
But no, I don't have guild chat blocked. I don't have whispers blocked. I don't
He
have
just
you
has
on
you
ignore.
blocked.
I don't have anybody on ignore. Although I do regularly accidentally put you on ignore, because when I right click on your name, ignore and invite start with the same letter.
Rude.
But then when you don't appear in my group, I'm like, oh crap, I ignored Al again. So I unignore you and invite you to the group.
You tried to ignore me the other day when I was giving Bob directions.
Did I?
Well, you remember I go, no, turn right, you turn left, but his stream was not time synced with reality.
Yes.
And
You got to reload that.
it's always like, he's not even at the chair. I said, I'm seeing him at the chair.
Yeah, I was like, what I did. Well, I couldn't tell if you were joking or if you were serious.
Yeah.
I was like, clearly Al's doing this as like a bit, right?
I
And then
posted-
was
no, I
oh,
didn't.
Shoot, he really has no idea what's going on.
Well, we went to Halls of Stone before that. So our Betaroon Halls of Stone thing, I stopped it right when I was done giving directions. I said, okay, I'm so done with this. And that's where I stopped and put the opening. So if you want to watch the Halls of Stone, you can see the whole thing.
Yeah, no, I was there. I remember the whole thing. So
We have 2 questions, by the way, because we didn't take care of Mad Marty's
okay,
questions.
Yeah, let's do the questions first, and then I'll get to my thing.
So, Mad Marty, what do you think of the raid dungeon meta? I always preferred to bring the player, not the class myself, more inclusive. What dungeon meta are we talking about with the class?
I feel like, well, what he's saying is raid and group composition.
Okay.
So he's saying like it's probably more raids than dungeons because with a dungeon you've got your healer and your tank and 3 DPS, and for most of the stuff going on, it doesn't really matter who you take. But what he's talking about is
The people who prefer an elemental shaman.
yeah, do you make sure you have a shaman in every group? Do you make sure you have a ranged and a melee DPS and aren't stacked up on one? For 5-mans, I honestly don't care. I love a group with 5 paladins. It's great. Well, I mean, paladin's the best
So
healer
basically
right
not
now.
Sam or me. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying
Yeah,
in general.
he said yeah. Did you hear that?
I'm saying in general because right now paladin's the best healer, paladin's the best tank, and paladin's also kind of the best dungeon DPS because
So
of all
then
the
why
cleave.
did you let me be a priest, not
you
a paladin?
You specifically said you didn't want to be a paladin. Priests are fine.
I don't think I said that.
You did.
Just keep them. No.
So dungeons, it doesn't matter because honestly, if you can successfully do it with 5 of the same class, you could do the same with druids probably.
Yeah. Healer, tank, DPS.
So 5-mans, I don't care. Raids, it depends on what you're trying to do. Like if you're trying to be the best of the best, like the top guilds, my nose is so itchy. If you like the top guilds pay a lot of attention to raid composition. They make sure they have every buff. They make sure they have every debuff. They make sure everything's covered. They don't want to stack classes that shouldn't be stacked. Like you don't want more than one class that just brings this buff but isn't the top DPS. The only people you want to stack are like the top DPS, and they're very particular about how they stack their raids. But that's just the top guilds. Not everybody has to do that. Like most people, especially at this stage in the game where so many guilds are having roster issues with people leaving and are having a hard time filling a 25-man raid to begin with, you can't pay attention to all that stuff. Like sometimes if you're at 22 people for a 25-man and you've already got your I don't know what classes do. You've already got your arcane mage, and you've already got a ret paladin, and you've already got an arms warrior, but those are the 3 people online. You just take them for your last spot. Who cares?
Do arcane mages exist?
No.
Yeah.
I know arcane mages have a buff that they bring to the raid. I know this because it's the same buff that ret paladins bring to the raid. So for a while when arcane mages were good, they're like, well, we don't need a ret paladin then.
Yeah.
Because we have an arcane mage. And I was like, that's 2 separate things. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, I guess suppose for GKPDs.
That's not the way that the letters go.
I know. GDKPS. PS? Whatever. They probably want a good spread of people so that they get more loot bid on from different people. Because if you do...
but that's a separate thing. That's a...
Well, I don't know. He didn't specify.
Well, he said dungeon and raid meta. I'm assuming he means like the set, because there is an ideal 25-man roster for each boss kill, basically.
All right, then we'll answer this based on your assumption.
That somebody well, am I wrong?
I didn't say you were.
You can't answer me. I think I'm right. I think that's what he's talking about.
No, that's fine.
But there is an ideal, like someone somewhere has taken the time to work out the exact ideal composition of raids.
Yeah.
And
so, yeah.
I will never be in that guild. So
I guess, like you said, play how you want to play.
And that's the way most guilds do it.
So
Most
if-
guilds
if-
just want to fill their roster.
Yeah. So if there are guilds out there that can afford to do it and make sure they have a proper breakdown and get everything in there, Let them play how they want to play. If you don't care, and there's a lot of people out there that don't, then I would play with those people.
Yeah. But here's the thing. The guilds that are at the very top and want to do everything perfectly, you don't contact them for a spot, they contact you. Like you have to be in demand. You have to be one of the best to get into that guild anyways. So it's probably not something to think about for most people. Because most people, this is a hot take here. I would say at least a good 99% of all players are not in the top 1%.
Where do you get those numbers from?
We're almost done.
I just pulled them straight out of my butt. So what was the other question? Was it the Falcon Mick question?
Yeah, so Blizzard has made it clear that for hardcore, their current plan is to not restrict the players too much and to make changes on a case-by-case basis as the game progresses, rather than all up front. An example of this being not removing Petri, but instead monitoring it and making change what's in the impact. Well, we know what Petri's going to do. We've seen the impacts of Petri.
Yeah.
And what change would you guys make to classic WoW hardcore servers? I don't have enough of a...
Well, that and we already had this conversation.
Yeah, we had this conversation.
We
but
removed the trading and the mail and all that stuff.
I don't have enough of a claim impact. I don't know what word I'm looking for, but I don't care so much about hardcore.
So here's what I get, and here's the hypocrisy of the entire hardcore classic community. Blizzard has said that they want to leave the Petri Flask thing in game because people who play their characters up to that level, they have an investment into that character, and they don't want to risk losing their character in a raid to a wipe. But they've disabled Paladins bubble hearthing, which is the same thing.
Okay, so what you just said there, they don't want to risk, then don't play hardcore. Because hardcore is a risk.
I know, that's the whole thing. But...
And yes, it's not fair.
But
it's
here's
not
the
fair.
thing. In defense of the whole Petri Flask, which I think is kind of lame, but in defense of it, if you're raiding, you have to allow for the fact that occasionally something bad's going to happen, and you want your raid to have an out. And they are absurdly expensive, because you do need a Black Lotus for them. And there is a limited number of Black Lotuses, and every time you click that Petri Flask and drop group to portal out of a dungeon, there's a significant cost attached to it. So there's that.
Reputation cost.
Reputation cost?
Maybe.
What do you mean?
Well, I guess, he's just going to abandon us. Why would we take him?
For the Petri Flask? Well, no, they call it, like on a raid, they call it, the whole raid uses it.
Okay.
But there's a significant cost to that. Like that's, in a 40-man raid, that's 40 Black Lotuses that you're blowing on a wipe. That is expensive. Whereas on a regular server, you would just eat the wipe and run back. So that's my defense of it. I still don't like it, but if you're going to raid in hardcore, it's kind of a thing that has to happen.
I know what I would change.
What would you change?
Disable macros.
Why?
Well, I push everything into a one-button thing.
Well, that's not how macros work. You still have to. They still can only do.
I generalized, of course.
Yeah.
But
like there's.
It's something that makes the gameplay easier.
Yeah.
So let's take
moderately.
that out.
I don't use a lot of macros myself. But my complaint is why, if it's not a big deal, like if it's not a big deal in the sense that they allow it to happen for petrification flasks as a get out of jail free card, why is it a problem that one class gets an extra get out of jail free card once per hour? Why is that the game breaker?
Because that's their ability, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Don't
I use
talk about onks. It's different.
Is it? It
is. That is unlimited lives, even if you die.
But that was like that. That's an ability of that class.
So is a cleric or a priest or whatever they're called resing. So is a druid battle res. That's actually after dying. You have already died at that point. You are dead.
But Res is somebody else. Okay, let's look at it from a spiritual point. It's somebody else shoving your soul back into you. Whereas a shaman Ankh, you're dead, but you still have enough life left to get back to life.
No, you dead.
I was speaking figuratively.
It's because it's a line. They're two different things.
I'm trying to see the line of both of them, and I can't put them together.
You have extra astral recalls. You can get yourself out of sketchy situations every 15 minutes. As long as someone else has aggro, you can still astral recall out.
Yeah, I was thinking of just taking that Hearthstone out of my bag so I'd have one more spot in my bags.
Yeah, it's one bag slot. What's the matter? But anyways, yeah, that's...
Well,
I would say...
I couldn't pick up the cape yesterday, the back yesterday.
Yeah,
one bag spot.
That chest is bugged, though. We've had that problem before. So, I mean, what does he say? So no mailbox. Yeah, no mailbox. No auction house. No player-to-player trading. That's fine. Like, that's hardcore to me. I know it's not Blizzard hardcore, but it's
And
hardcore.
I always thought hardcore meant not grouping, too.
It does with the
I know we already had this conversation.
Yeah, we already had this conversation. Yeah. But yeah, they changed that.
Well,
I'm fine with grouping. I have no problem with grouping.
Just make sure you have your wings on, not mine.
Yeah, I don't see why. Like, the hardcore community has a lot of weird, arbitrary rules that I think were made up as they went along to suit the players making the rules. Because they were like, oh, yeah, no grouping. Oh, we're 60 now. We're bored. Okay, well, you can group now. Or like, oh, man, we want to do this raid, but we don't have consumables. Oh, okay, well, you can trade now. Like, it seems like really arbitrary the way they did the rules.
Well,
like,
you kind of made it to the end, the finish line.
Yeah.
And then grouping is necessary at the end, because what else is there left once you're 60? Go on complete lower level quests?
That's kind of my problem with it. But, like, it's the fact that, okay, now we're 60, so we're going to allow ourselves to trade, but you guys still can't because you're still leveling. Or we can now group because we want to get our pre-bits, but you guys still can't because you're leveling. Like, it's weird, like, that the rules change at 60 because the guys that got 60 got bored. But that's not the point.
Yeah, it really leaves the only other option is to start over and do it again, really. I mean,
yeah, but that's what people claim the lure of hardcore is. They're like, it's the journey. It's not about getting to endgame like regular game. Like, it's all about the leveling journey. Unless you don't want it to be about the leveling journey and you actually want to raid in hardcore. Okay. And then it becomes about the raiding in hardcore. Like, it's all like it's very contradictory. Like, hardcore is about the journey, not the end game, and then suddenly it's about the end game.
Does it just end with a snap?
It can. It ends with a death.
Multiple.
So that's that. So that's our questions. I do want to. Where are we at? We've moved a long way here. We're almost at 2 hours. So I do want to get to my end here, my topic of stuff that I've been looking at this week. So I've spent this week, the last couple weeks really, but mostly this week, thinking, okay, I want to get better at my character. So I've been trying to find ways to get better, and I think no matter how casually you play, trying to improve is a good thing. So
that sounded like a personal.
No, this is something I'm directing at myself because I want to.
You don't play casually.
I do.
No.
I'm a casual player. I'm not in a top-end guild. I do not have 40 alts.
You don't have to be in a top-end guild. And you have a number of alts, the same character. And you make sure you hit raid every week, and you try and hit extra raids.
I hit a raid.
And you do dungeons all the time.
There are people that have like 5 or 6 alts, and they raid every raid at every difficulty, every lock-in.
So you're not as hardcore as them.
Exactly. But still, like, I'm trying to find ways to get extra out of my character. So one thing I've been looking at this week that I thought was really cool is the simming.
The who?
Simming.
Yeah. Did you see that post about the add-on for simming? In Bob's Discord?
I did, but that seemed like a lot to me. So I was like, I don't know how to work that. Because I saw that, and they were like, okay, well, you got to do this and export this into here. And I was like, I don't know how that stuff works, and quite frankly, I'm too old to learn.
Is that all the gear that your character has?
Yes.
It's all purple. Oh.
Well, yeah, do you know how easy it is to get all purple gear now?
I'm wearing all purple.
Don't you have all purple gear
No.
on your rogue? Yes.
No, I don't think so.
I think you do.
I'll have to double check.
I'm pretty sure my hunter's all purple.
It is.
Anyway, regardless, I want to get into this simming thing.
So with the simming, so the one I'm using is I got the link off of a video Sarth did on simming. Do you know who Sarth is?
Yes.
No.
No? He's like a WoW content creator. He does like streaming and YouTube videos and stuff. He's apparently pretty popular.
Sarth.
E.
E.
Yes, there's an E on the end. So he did a video on simming your character, and he had a link to this sim that I'm using here.
Can you get it on my computer?
It's a website. You can get it on any computer.
Can you send me it?
I can send you the link. It's just a website.
Why don't we just post it for other people into our
that's
Discord?
what I was gonna. That's part of my thing. I was gonna post the link to it.
Sorry, do you want us not to talk? Okay, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that I was gonna say that.
I'm showing interest.
I know. And
I
it
was
is
showing
interesting.
interest too.
And I feel like you would like this because you as well, but you both have questions about like gear and what's best and everything. And
I was going to add that add-on, but if this looks like
it's super easy.
this looks like 80 upgrades with a.
It is because what you do is you click on your slot and you can search your full list of gear, or you can type it in, and you put in your gear, you put in your enchants, you put in your gems, and then you click simulate, and it simulates your DPS in a best case scenario situation.
Enchants would be nice, but
Do you
the
need enchants?
person that said they'd enchant me doesn't
enchant you.
show up anymore.
You can also
I'm
set,
getting there. I'm
Oh
leveling
no, I was looking at you
it.
because where your head was.
Oh, I was looking at the thing. Where was my head?
It was really close.
but you also
I was
set your
facing
talents.
the wrong way.
You
What?
can
Your
also-
husband's right there.
You can also set your talents, and there is also this large settings menu that allows you to choose consumables, flasks, raid buffs, debuffs that are on the
Okay,
boss.
now it's getting complicated.
This is getting complicated. I don't mess with this too much. I just made sure it had my flask, my food, its speed potions up there, and
Just kidding. It's not complicated at all.
It is though, because I don't know what half these buffs are. Some of these are my buffs, and I don't even know what they are. So
Well, I know what they are.
I know what some things. See, I'm a casual player. I don't know half this stuff.
You're not a casual.
So once you get all your stuff in,
What's that say?
stat weights, that allows you to weight your stats for how it lists your best in slot gear on the drop down. So what I've been using this for this week is, okay, I've been doing the sidereal essence, right? I've been running the dungeons, and I got to 38 sidereal essence. It is sidereal. It's not sidereal. That's silly. So then I got my 38, right? And I'm sitting there at the vendor, and I'm thinking, is Essier's Edge my best bet for DPS right now? And in my head, I don't know. So I'm
First
like,
of all, two things:
what?
side reel
It's not sidereal.
and ass hair.
It's not Aesir. It's Aesir. Acer's Edge, whatever it is. So I'm like, okay, how can I figure out what my best bet is? So I go to the sim, and I switched my weapon to Aesir's Edge. I put my proper gems and my enchant on it. I run the sim, and over it, because I had World Breaker before, the axe, right? So
Right.
I run the sim, and it says that Aesir's Edge over World Breaker gives me... I ran it a few times because it comes out a little different each time. It gave me between 200 and 212 extra DPS just from the weapon change, right? So I was like, okay, but if I don't get Aesir's Edge and I stick with my World Breaker and I wait and try and get a weapon drop in a raid, which will never happen because I haven't gotten a drop in a raid in months. I don't get raided.
4 to 5 months.
It's been a long time because it's been a long time since I've gotten a drop in raid, but that's a different thing. It's because I got all my drops.
Been a long time.
I got all
waiting
my
for a raid drop.
I got all my non-hard mode.
Nothing drops for my paladin.
Do you want to punch him a little bit so I can talk?
Right there.
Yeah. Give him a hard punch, Sam.
No, because
You don't want to punch him?
Do you
I know
want to punch me?
him. No. I got all my non-hard mode loot from Alduar
Do you want to punch me?
like super early, and our guild wasn't doing hard modes,
better.
so I couldn't get any
Sure,
loot.
your hand?
Well, it is my bad arm, so a little bit.
And then when we got to the point where we were raiding with that other guild and we started doing some hard modes, they wouldn't give me any loot because it all went to the other guild.
Yeah, Sam, you're really getting on my nerves.
So
Well, you got on this nerve.
And then I took a little break from raiding. I haven't gotten loot in so long.
I got loot.
But anyways, I put in
taking
the
a break
Edge.
doesn't count as you not getting a drop.
I didn't get any drops while I was taking a break.
I did
It's
hurt
because
you,
I
didn't
had to
I?
wait.
I got
I had to
itch.
wait before I could transfer my character over. So my other option was to just get a couple more Sidereal Essence, and I could upgrade my neck and my trinket. I could get Dark Matter and Strength of the Heavens, or whatever it's called. Both are upgrades over that. So I simmed that out, and if I got those 2 items instead of the sword, it was still about 20 or 30 DPS less than the sword. So I was like, okay, I guess I should get the sword, and then I can just do more dungeons to get the extra one, right? And then, after all that, so I went and I bought the weapon, and I enchanted it, and I put gems in it, and I went back to the sim to change my default guild set, and I realized I put the wrong belt in. I hit the wrong belt, which threw my stats off a little bit. So I was like, oh, this is a problem. So I switched to the proper belt, which has some hit on it and a little bit less of other stats. Some less gem slots. I don't really understand why it sims up so differently, but I put the new belt on, and then I reran my sim from earlier in the week, and the trinket and the neck actually give me more of a DPS boost than the weapon, because the weapon, for some reason, with the different belt, only gives me a boost of like 170 DPS.
Accuracy is important, folks.
So that's the thing. Like, if you're going to run these sims, I don't
At
know
least he
how
has
they
the right
work.
race in this time.
Yeah, I had to switch that because I had a hard time finding my gear, or the gear I wanted, anyways. But the thing is, you can go through and you can be like, okay, so what do I want? So here's what the game says my best in slot is, but do I get more DPS if I take my tier set? Spoiler, I do. So I don't actually want what it says my best in slot is. I actually want the tier instead of the best in slot, because I want my set bonus. I want at least my 2 set bonus. But I don't necessarily want all of the set pieces, because they have a boatload of hit on them, and I don't need more hit. And the chest piece, the paladin tier chest piece, has armor penetration on it.
That's
I
good.
don't want. It's not. It's bad. Why does it have that?
I know.
So I went.
You were complaining about that
changed.
last podcast.
So that means that the chest, because you can only get up to 4 piece, you need at least 1 piece that's not tier. Clearly, I'm going to choose the chest because I'm going to find something that doesn't have armor pen on it or hit, because I don't need either of those things. So, and then you might think, okay, is it actually better to avoid the armor pen and go with something else? You run the sim, it says yes, you know. So it's particularly good, especially living in a world now where we have so many different vendors that we can buy gear from. You can buy stuff with the Triumph badges. You can buy some with Sidereal Essence.
Side rail.
You're trying to decide. You've farmed up your essence, and you're like, well, which upgrade should I buy? You pop it into the sim, and you know. And like with a shaman, for example, you have so many weapon choices. You can put them all in the sim. You can find out, like, we were having this discussion when we were running raids, or when we were running dungeons earlier, because daggers were dropping, and some people were saying, oh no, you don't want fast weapons, you want slow, and you don't want DPS in your main hand, you want spell power, you don't want a fast offhand, you want a slow offhand. You can look at the different weapons you have access to, you can put them into the sim, and you can actually see what's better.
It's funner to watch you and Bob disagree with each other.
Well, that's the thing. We both have access to sims, and we're still going to disagree with each other. So
What's that website called?
this one here, I'll put the link because it's like a whole long thing.
You should put it in our website's channel on our Wrath Classic Talk.
I can do that. I'll put the link there. So yeah, you would make good. What? Why are you laughing at me?
You answered him saying put it in the website like you knew that there was a page for that.
I'm just
this whole
pretending that I
time.
know what he's talking about because I'm trying to focus on what I'm saying.
Because he just made a page for it as you were talking
I
about
knew
it.
that was there, clearly. So anyways, you can use that in conjunction with the BIS list site that I also use, which is cool. We can put the link for that too. And you can use that. You can get better from the comfort of not even in the game. And then you take your new gear and you go to Ironforge and you find the practice dummies and you practice your rotation. You gonna do that, Sam? Nope. I'm assuming this works for healers. I don't actually
I don't know.
So yeah,
I might just go back to my hunter.
If you like your hunter more, play your hunter.
But do not come back and say, "Oh, I'm at the bottom again."
Well, she can't possibly do less DPS than she does as a disc priest. She does 0. She does 0 DPS as a disc priest because she's a healer and she's not supposed to be doing DPS. So that's fine. So yeah, cool site. I like it. I actually bought this Libram because my BIS list said that I should buy that before I even buy my tier gear. And I was like, is that true? It is. I simmed it and it's much better. And then I went and I used it in raid and my DPS was up from what it was when I didn't have it.
Nice.
It is good. This went away again.
Why does it matter?
Why does what matter?
Why do you have to be logged in?
Because it's in the video and I wanted my character sitting there in the background looking all cool with his
By the time
sword.
we cut you down into a middle section, it's not in the video.
Oh, it's not?
No.
Well, it's there for my...
I can make you really, really
No,
small.
Nah, it's fine. It's there if there's ever just a raw feed of me sitting here for some reason. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I like it. I like looking back and seeing my character. So we should set you up with the sim. We should see what gear you need to get.
Can I do
If
it
you
for
want to
both?
switch back, if you want to switch back and play your hunter more,
Yeah, you have them both.
then focus on your hunter. We'll get your bars set back up. There's other sites you can go to that help you with your rotation. We could figure out what your best spec is right now.
Frosty Veins.
Oh, so that's Icy Veins is good. Another thing I did because
Now, which one is it?
Icy Veins
Icy Veins.
is so I went through and I've got all my gems, right? And I was like, I keep going on about how bad armor pen is and how I don't want armor pen on my gear because it doesn't help me. So I was like, okay, I want to prove this with the sim, right? So I went and I changed all my gems to armor pen gems in the sim, not in game. And I changed all my gems to armor pen, which had me up to like 500-ish armor pen.
Okay.
And I swapped in the chest piece, which was like another 80, like the blacksmith one,
Which gave you the armor pen bonus?
which has armor pen on it. Not the tier 1. Oh, I guess I could have just used the tier 1, but I didn't. I used the blacksmith one. But it has armor pen. My wrist has armor pen because there's nothing else I can do. My sword has armor pen because the sim said it was better. And I switched in. I put on Grim Toll and the Mjolnir Rune Stone, which
Okay.
give me the on proc.
So you
armor
put on
pen.
a lot of armor pen
I
stuff.
put on all the armor pen.
And the outcome was?
The outcome of switching all my just with the gems and the trinkets, which are probably still better than the crap trinkets I have. I checked the Mjolnir's runestone, even with it being an armor pen trinket, is still better than my Mirror of Truth, which is like almost literal garbage.
I just bought that.
Well, yeah, it's good for a fresh character, but like there's better stuff. Like I need to swap my Mirror of Truth out with Dark Matter as soon as possible. I need to run more dungeons. So I switched out all my gems. I put on the armor pen trinkets and I ran the sim, and just from the gem change, it dropped my DPS by 500. Armor pen is bad. Unless you're a warrior or a rogue, in which case it's good.
Said 500, like that's something. I mean, we're talking about thousands. What is 500?
It's a difference. It's a big difference. It's less. It's significantly less. 500 DPS is a big change. Like if you mouse
I
over,
guess
you
because
see,
I'm thinking about it from a casual perspective, and you're thinking about it from someone who claims to be a casual perspective.
I'm a casual player who is trying to get better at the game. It's okay to put effort into things.
I know. I just wanted to throw that out there. You know, one day when I start sleeping well again, I'll be less crabby.
We'll see. I'll believe that when I see it.
You've seen it. I've been happy.
Have you?
Yeah. Oh, you should. Yeah.
But yeah, I will put those two. Do you put the website thing up on the Discord?
Yeah.
So I'm going to right now. Well, if you have anything new you want to say. Oh shoot, that's for Ret Paladin. That's going to be for mine. That's for Ret
Can you just put a
Paladin.
generic?
I will figure it out later. I'm going to figure out where like the home page is for that site and put that so people can do their own thing.
Gotcha.
So yeah, so there. That's all I have to say about
Now,
that.
what's the last line on your thing say?
I don't know. Practice off the dummies. Yeah, you practice
Oh,
off
okay.
the target dummies. I said that.
That's not what that says.
because I've been doing that because I've been trying unsuccessfully to. Here's the thing. So people say that keybinds and mouse moving is best, but I don't. It's not. I do better with what I'm doing because I've been trying to switch. I've been trying to flip my brain over to the other way. I've set up my keybinds in the best way I can, and I've tried mouse moving and all this stuff, and I am so much worse at it. But the thing is, what I do, here's what I do, and people can like explode at me if they want. Here's the way I play. I do have WASD to move, and I have my strafe stuff that I do, which I strafe. I've watched certain people play on stream, and they don't strafe when they're moving on a boss. And I'm not even talking about you because you don't stream. They will turn.
I strafe.
That's why I said I'm not talking about you.
No, you said because I don't stream. No, I strafe. That's
I know.
why you're not talking about me.
But I'm also, because I watch people on stream, I said, and they'll be facing a boss and they'll need to move out of goo on the floor.
You know it's the way you said it, because I watch you, but you don't stream. I know I'm not talking about you because you don't stream. No, you're not talking about me because I strafe. I might suck at it, but I strafe.
But I've seen people. A puddle appears on the ground, right? And you just move left, right? What I do is I just move sideways, and I'm done, right? I've seen people, they turn, they go forward, and they turn back. And I know they're doing it with a mouse while hitting their hotkeys, but still, that is such an inefficient move. I don't get why that's better.
That's why I have my strafe on my mouse.
Yeah, and that's the way I was going to set it up with my keybinds, but I just can't. I can't.
No, I get it. You haven't played like that ever.
I've never played like that.
So yes, you're going to be worse.
But what
you would get better, but I mean, if it works for you,
I've been trying to practice.
Regardless of,
I feel like I'm not terrible.
No, you're better than us here. That's for sure. If it works for you, that's fine.
Yeah.
We're going to give you a hard time. Because people naturally say, "Oh, look, he's a clicker." Ha ha ha.
Then why am I doing more DPS than you? Figure that one out.
Yeah, we're still going to give you a hard time.
So what I do though,
so
with
could
my
I
setup,
get better at it if I don't click?
You could get better at it if you practice and actually played.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you have to actually play the game to get better at it.
For me to move around, if I'm going to run, I just hold these two things. If I'm going to strafe this way, if I'm going to strafe the other way.
But the thing is, what makes it even more difficult for me...
You're doing something weird to your computer.
But what makes it even more difficult for me is the way I use my peripherals as a paladin. Because as a paladin, like last night's raid, for example, there's many different things I'm asked to do. Like I was asked to bop people, which is Hand of Protection. Don't ask. I was asked to Hand of Freedom people. I was asked to do other things. I don't remember. But anyways, I have my mouse. I don't always use this mouse. This mouse I use when healing because I need more buttons. But I have Voodoo, right? It's an add-on that gives you a secondary raid frame that's like clickable instead of just targeting people. And you can go into Voodoo and it will let you set up, like, it gives you options for like 20 or 30 different mouse buttons. And you can set it up so that when you click on the frame, depending on what mouse you click, what button you click, it does a different thing.
Yeah.
So I have on my mouse, when I click on my Voodoo frame, I don't usually use it as ret, but I do have fast heal and slow heal. I have cleanse if anyone's poisoned, which I do use a lot. I've got blessing of protection. I've got blessing of salvation or sanctuary or whatever it's called that drops aggro. I've got freedom. Whoops, didn't mean to push that. Oh shoot, what does that light mean? I did something. Okay, there we go. I have freedom on this one. I've got another. I can't remember what they're all, but basically all my different like hands and stuff are on my mouse, so that while I'm moving around, I can just click the Voodoo pane and do all the different separate buffs.
We should call that Big B's.
Big B's? What is that?
The hand spells from Dungeons & Dragons.
Oh, right, yeah. But yeah, so I do click a lot, but I also have all my buffs on click. So if I'm moving with my mouse, I can't also click Voodoo for the stuff that I'm trying to move to the person and get. So I can move, and while I'm moving, I can still reach my action keys with my finger. So I do still have hotkeys that I use sometimes while I'm moving. So I can still hit my attacks while moving with my keyboard, while also using Voodoo to use my various peripherals.
I do get that because I'm good on one row, but when I
Yeah.
have to start hitting the F buttons or even going down, sometimes I get a little, did I go to the S or did I go to the T? So there are times where I'll all of a sudden bring my hand down here to the up, down, whatever arrow keys and start moving with those, and then I'll move my mouse over and click. So I'm like very, very, very part-time clicker as well.
Well, everyone's got to click sometimes, right?
But when I have to run out of puddles and everything, I just leave it with the mouse because then it's just like this, and then I can just easily strafe out.
Hand somewhere on there too. But I've got all my stuff so that when they call out my name to use one of my abilities, I've got it right there. I know which mouse button it is, and I've got my big voodoo frame taking up half of my screen, and I can just click on the person that needs that ability, and we're good. So I think it's a valid way to play. I think everybody plays differently.
Yeah.
Everybody plays differently, and I have used my clicking and keyboard moving. I do have hotkeys set up around it. I use tab a lot because it's a pain in the butt trying to click on do people click on the mob they're targeting?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know you do, but is that a thing people do?
I guess it depends on what I'm targeting
Because
for.
I tab a lot. Like I use tab a lot.
Yeah, if I have to target a friendly, it's right there, big screens.
Yeah.
But
Oh no, I don't mean other players. I mean you can't tab target friendly players. You tab target.
no, I can't do
enemy
that. When you get into a big bunch, I'm gonna hit the wrong thing. No, I just tap. Oh crap! Tap. Oh crap! Tap. Okay, that's the one I want.
Yeah, because I can usually find the one I want unless I've got like a focus set as an alternate target.
I'm trying to
Eats a
ignore
lot,
him.
doesn't he?
What?
He eats a lot, doesn't
Yeah.
he?
He does. He's hungry. But like especially when I'm tanking, because I've been tanking a lot lately. Because if I want to run dungeons, I need to tank. And I'm all what?
I'm also like going as I'm posting the dungeon runs, and especially the one we had with Zunder. We went into the TOC.
Okay, yeah.
And goes, so Zunder, what do you want to do? You want a DPS or tank? And he goes, oh, DPS. And then you chime in and go, what a silly question to ask. Of course you're going to DPS.
Yeah.
And then Bob's like, okay, let me just think about it. All right, I guess I'll tank.
I like to make Bob tank.
He seems to
Does
hate
he not
it.
like tanking?
Well, it's
No.
every now and then
Nobody likes tanking.
I like tanking on my druid. But, I mean, every now and then it's fun to go in as DPS. It's a little less responsibility. Is it, though? Yeah, a little less responsibility. You just get to smack things.
Well, here's the thing, though. Like, DPS is what I do. Like, I'm a DPS in raids. I'm not a raid tank. So when I'm playing and running dungeons, like, I want to be practicing my rotation and practicing what my buttons do. And I want to be playing my ret spec when I'm in dungeons. But I can't, like, nobody wants... Like, it doesn't matter that every dungeon I go into, with a couple exceptions, if I'm going in with some, like, super raid geared person, they might out DPS me. But most dungeons, I'm at the top. Especially if it's a pug. Like, I'm going to be number one if I'm ret. But they're like, oh, we don't want a ret paladin as DPS. It's like, why don't you want a ret paladin as DPS in a dungeon? Like, do people understand how these work? Like, dungeons are packs of 3 or 4 mobs, almost exclusively, unless you're pulling more for some reason, which you can. And it doesn't matter. I'm still going to do more DPS. Like, ret paladins are, it's like they're specifically designed to excel at 5-man dungeons. Like, you're not going to find better. They're really good at it. So everyone's that like, oh yeah, looking for DPS for Violet Hold, no rats. Looking for DPS for Halls of Lightning, no rats. Like, it's just like, people post that in there. Like, it's the only class they exclude. It's bizarre.
We should do a dungeon crawl with nothing but ret paladins.
Well,
You know what we would call that?
what?
Tourette's call. A tour of the Rets. Tourette's.
Yeah, good one. That feels like a good place to end. We've been going forever on this. Do you guys have anything else to say before we finish up?
That's outrageous.
Every time. We didn't... Are we done?
Yeah.
We didn't
Would
do
you like
Al
me to stop?
stories.
Oh shoot.